Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations, and the series was launched at the weekend in Teterow in Germany, and a busy night of frantic speedway action. The first time that the competition has been held, and this is the prize, the trophy for the best pair, the best team unit. 15 nations, 7 on Saturday, 7 here tonight in Manchester at the National Speedway Stadium doing battle, and then all the way through to the final stages. The top 2 automatically from this meeting go into the finals in Poland at the weekend. Then a third nation must qualify. The third place team goes straight through to the last chance knockout, Heat 23, and then Heat 22, the winners of that one, see a straight shootout with the third place team for the third and final qualifiers. That gives us 3 nations going to the final.
It's a new format. The main reason for that is to bring more nations into the sport. We got 15 nations competing in this tournament, and it's just not bringing more nations in, it's bringing more competitive nations as well. So where we may have a few nations that were competitive to become world champion, this is now so open, and I'm really excited about seeing that. We got several nations that will grab points from each other, and yeah, we're very excited about that.
Teterow, the Bergring Arena at the weekend, and it was all about the home nation doing battle. Russia as well were always likely to be there or thereabouts, and so it proved. But there was drama late on with one of Speedway's world-dominating nations just scraping through by the skin of their teeth. Some excellent fast action, as you would expect. Martin Smolinski as spectacular as ever, the German star, but ably backed up by Kai Hülkenberg as well, delighting the Teterow crowd. The home nation going through with Russia, Emil Sayfutdinov and Artem Laguta, 2 Grand Prix regulars, looking very impressive indeed. So Russia and Germany safely through, then a last chance shootout. Slovenia against Denmark. This was Heat 23. And it was the Danes with Jepsen, Jensen and Pierre finishing 2nd and 3rd, which effectively meant that they were more successful. They won the race and they go through to the final. Russia, Germany and Denmark go through to meet the host nation Poland in Wrocław this coming weekend.
I'm so happy, when we go to the final and fight to some medals, Of course, it will be hard because it's final, and we try to do that.
We look very good about each other, and we help each other a lot, and I must say that's team riding, It's just we have a very good karma each other, So, we love it, Thanks back home, They support us.
Good evening and welcome to Manchester. Sunshine all around this National Speedway Stadium. It's the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations Race Off 2. 3 more nations will qualify tonight from the National Speedway Stadium, the home of the world-famous Bellevue Aces Speedway Club. This is regarded as one of the best tracks in the world. Every rider who comes here seems to enjoy it. Kelvin Tatum, MBE, former world long track champion and World Cup winning skipper alongside me. Kelvin, what a place. Delighted to be here. And I think we definitely agree that this is one of the best tracks that we go to.
Absolutely. We've seen some fabulous speedway in its short history, this track, the National Speedway Stadium in Manchester, and I've got to believe that we'll see something pretty tasty again tonight. The World Cup final here a couple of years ago was a delight. It was a fabulous night, and for the Speedway Grand Prix, it's been brilliant. Here are the 2 teams that have raced so far, or certainly will be racing so far. We've had the Race Off 1, and we're into Race Off 2 this evening.
Yep, so we see 4 nations. Poland automatically have qualified, and they were joined, as we say, by the top 3 from Saturday night in Teterow in Germany. Here tonight, though, it's the UK, it's pairs racing, teamwork the key. Here in Manchester tonight, heat number 1 sees the Czech Republic up against Finland, Václav Milik and Josef Frank up against Timo Lahti and Tiro Arnio. So, heat number 1 coming up here at this magnificent venue in Manchester. We have 23 heats of drama coming your way. Here's the first race of the night then, and a beautiful evening. It's all set up very nicely indeed here at the National Speedway Stadium, home of the Bellevue Aces. And it is Czech Republic up against Finland in the first race of the night. 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third, nothing for finishing last. Team riding the key here, of course, and heat number 1 We'll see Vaclav Milik going off the inside in red. He has Grand Prix experience. He's a fast rider, the Czech Republic man. Gate 2 in white, Timo Lahti for Finland. Gate 3 blue is Josef Frank for the Czech Republic. And going off the outside in yellow, Tero Arnio for Finland. Fair to say, Czech Republic and Finland perhaps not widely regarded as potential winners of this meeting tonight, but who knows, the Czech Republic in particular, Kelvin, they could do some damage tonight.
Milik has plenty of class. He's been on the rostrum at Grand Prix. He is now a vastly experienced rider, rides in the extra lead in Poland, so he won't be intimidated by the big fast track here in Britain.
Yep, here we go, first race of the night. Oh, and straight away,
well,
we see drama.
Milik pulled Lahti in there.
Wow.
The referee, Jesper Steentoft, will be holding the tapes for some considerable time. He has told the riders in the riders' briefing that there will be long delays, and you just saw Milik twitch there, and Timo Lahti was then pulled in. You'll see it quite clearly on the replay. See how Milik twitches, and Timo Lahti then actually is the one that gets penalised. He touches the tapes.
Well, a question will be asked, is the rider in white, Timo Lahti, going to be excluded here?
Well, he has to be. He touches the
Touch
tapes.
the tapes. But is the fact that Milik led him in some case for defence?
Unfortunately, I'd like to say yes, because I've been in that situation, Nige, but unfortunately it won't be any excuse for him. It is Timo Lahti that will go.
Yep, he's just been told by race director Phil Morris he must go, so it's going to be
It's an
3 riders
awful
only.
feeling.
You cannot bring a reserve in for this one, and Finland, anyway, have failed to declare an under-21 reserve rider. So we've not even had one race yet, and we have our first delay for a starting offence.
Shame that, because Timo Lahti has some good experience on his night. He can be quite a spoiler, and he will be gutted to have had that happen. I've had that happen myself. Other riders, it's an awful feeling when you're looking at the rider on the inside gate and he just moves a little bit and you're nervous before your first ride and it pulls you into the tapes. Not the ideal start.
Well, the 2-minute time allowance is on for the riders for the restart off heat number 1. And Vaclav Milik and Josef Frank for the Czech Republic, and only one rider for Finland, Tero Arnio. A reminder, the rules are you cannot replace a rider for a starting offence, even if you do have a reserve available, which Finland don't, by the way. But if you are guilty of a starting offence, then you cannot be replaced. So vital that you behave at the start.
Yes, well, we did see that on Saturday when the Ukrainians and Andrei Karpov actually penalised himself twice on the start, and that actually cost them the chance of going into the 4th and 5th race-off later in the evening. So it is crucial that you do have discipline on the start line, and Jesper Steentoft will hold the tapes for a little while, and longer than they will have in league racing. So it is a change for riders.
3 riders only then, as we say. Timo Lahti excluded from this one, so the best Finland can do is a Tero Arnio win and a 3-all in the opening race of the night. But even it's not just the knockout stages here of the pairs, the Speedway of Nations, where second and third can be vital, because as we saw on Saturday, the countback system as well.
Yeah.
At the end of 21 qualifying heats, if you finish second and third, it can be more advantageous, and it can be vital in the knockout stages here. That is later on to come here this evening in Bellevue, Manchester. Here we go. Heat 1, second time of asking, and they're away this time. Good start from Milik off the inside. His teammate and partner in blue, Josef Frank, has joined him. Third place in yellow here is Tero Arnio right now, and the Czech Republic are already on a 5-1. Milik looking over his shoulder down the back straight, and there he goes again, looking for his teammate and partner, Josef Pepe Frank, with plenty of experience, and a regular in the British League down the years as well, Josef Frank, and they're sat nicely on a 5-1 here.
Yeah, good start from gate 1 and 3. Frank has now managed to get round the outside of Milik because the inside's working a little bit better. Tero Arnio got squeezed as he got to the first quarter. He's covered in shed. He's trying his heart out in third place, but it's going to be almost an impossible task to get the better of the Czech Republic here. They're riding beautifully in unison, and it looks like a great start, and they're taking advantage of the mistake by Timo Lahti when he got excluded on the start.
Really is a super fast track, this one at Bellevue, Manchester. Down the back straight they go. Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time of heat number 1. It is going to be a dream start for the Czech Republic. It's Pepe Frank and Vaclav Milik over Tero Arnio. So it's a big 5-1 to get things started for the Czech Republic. That will do them rather nicely, and they're looking very quick as well, although it has to be said they only had one rider up against them, of course. And the next heat coming up is Great Britain against France. So that's one to look forward to. David Bellego we saw here with Swindon a couple of weeks ago and rode very nicely around here. But the opening race of the night goes the way of the Czech Republic. And a 5-1 victory for them.
Here we see it again. This is second time of asking, but Milik on the inside just spins up momentarily. Tero Arnio there just getting squeezed out, and that really puts paid to his chances. He tries ever so hard in third place, but Joseph Frank and Milik showing good composure on the start line. Frank hustles it round the outside of his teammate, but they ride in great unison, a classic display of team riding here, and they pick up 5 points, very valuable 5 points. 5-1s we actually saw, very hard to come by on Saturday night, so a useful start for the Czech Republic.
Yep, Joseph Frank the race winner then. Second place was Vaclav Milik, with Tero Arnio third, and a 5-1, as we say, for heat number 1. An early lead for the Czech Republic, but heat number 2, and it is a rare UK appearance for Ty Woffenden, twice world champion, of course. He partners Craig Cook here in blue, and good to see France. We talk about this new tournament and how more nations come into it, and David Bellego and Dimitri Berge on the world stage representing France, and certainly good to see as we bring you details of heat number 2. And it is Ty Woffenden and Craig Cook for Great Britain against David Bellego and Dimitri Berge for France. I can tell you that it is Craig Cook off the inside gate in blue. Gate 2 in white for France is David Bellego, right to the Swindon Robins here in the UK. Gate 3 in red is Ty Woffenden of Great Britain. The last time he was on this track, by the way, was when he won the league with Wolverhampton in October 2016. So happy memories for Woffenden. And off the outside in yellow, Dimitri Berge. That is your lineup for heat number 2.
Yeah, I spoke to Dimitri Berge just before the meeting started. He has raced here before in an under-21 qualifier, so he has had competitive action on the track, and he's quick, you know, Dimitri Berge. If he hits the front, he'll be hard to peg back, and so is Bellego. So I mean, it won't be a complete surprise to see France amongst the points. So, but Great Britain favourites for me.
Yep, here we go then. Great Britain, heat number 2. Oh, and Craig Cook jumped the start there and has missed it completely, and now Ty Woffenden hits the front. Cook has hold third spot right now. Second place in white is David Bellego. Dimitri Berge is at the back, but Great Britain are on a 4-2 right now. It just looked as though Craig Cook was a little bit edgy at the start, maybe punished himself there. Woffenden has the lead. Second place in white, David Bellego for France. Third in blue is Craig Cook for Great Britain, and they're on a 4-2.
Yeah, Woffenden class in front, got away cleanly and looking majestic. David Bellego comfortable in second place. Track's a little bit wet, but it's a really sunny day and it's difficult to keep the track damp. And I've got to say that Cook did penalise himself on the start line, and he's back in third place. Berge at the back, Woffenden back, racing in Britain, looking absolutely majestic out in front, class of his own.
Yeah, great to see Woffenden back in British colours, that's for sure. And he's making a triumphant return to the side after a year out from the World Cup last year. He's back in British colours tonight with the Speedway of Nations, and it's a 3-point return for Ty Woffenden of Great Britain. Second place in white there was David Bellego, and Craig Cook in third place. Looked a little bit edgy at the start, but it's a 4 points to 2 advantage for the British boys. And Ty Woffenden, born in Scunthorpe, still lives in the UK, and has got his wife and daughter here tonight as well, looking very, very relaxed. Winner of the opening Grand Prix of the year in Warsaw, of course. And he gets a standing ovation on the home straight here from this Manchester crowd. Delighted to see him back in British colours. It must be a boost because they've got their best rider back. That's as simple as we can put it, really. Heat number 2 was a win for Woffenden, second was Bellego, and third was Cook. It's 4 points to Great Britain and 2 to France. That's how we stand after a couple of heats now. Czech Republic 5, Great Britain 4, after 1 ride apiece. Good stuff from Woffenden, Kelv.
Yeah, very good. Not unexpected. He was the class man in the race, and Cook was very nervous on the start line there and rolled. I think because he penalised himself, the referee didn't put the red lights on, Cook could have been warned for that, and that would have been a problem because it would have stayed with him throughout the evening. Still may, actually. The referee does still have the power to do that, actually warn Cook about his starting discipline, but for no such problems for Woofenden, two-time world champion, looking like a champion out in front in heat number 2, doing the business for Great Britain. And Cook coming through in third place, 4 points, 4 useful points. But there's no doubt, we are hearing that Cook did receive a warning, and that is not ideal for him, because you do something similar again, then you will be excluded. So Cook just feeling a little bit tense on the start line in his opening ride.
Yep, so heat number 3 coming up. Not a lot between Cook and Lambert, I think, in the Great Britain side. Robert Lambert is the under-21 rider, but he's been on brilliant form everywhere he goes, Robert Lambert.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him.
Yeah, they may share the rides about tonight between him and Cook, perhaps.
Very well do.
Heat number 3, Sweden against Italy. And we see the World Championship leader here, Freddie Lindgren, is the man in the red helmet. Antonio Lindback in blue for Sweden. And it's Nico Cavati and Paco Castagna for the Italians. Italy still regularly hold Grand Prix qualifiers. They hold under-21 meetings at Terranzano. Lonigo, of course, is a famous track in Italy that has held Grand Prix and qualification meetings in the past. But Sweden here strongly fancy Freddie Lindgren in red, Antonio Lindback in blue. They'll be the favourites for a 5-1 here, make no mistake about that. Great start from Lindback in blue. Lindgren has got there as well. Sweden looking good early on here. Down the back straight they go. Freddie Lindgren looking super quick. And there'll be a bit of team riding here. Lindback in blue, Lindgren in red. Sweden set comfortably right now going into lap 2 on a 5-1.
Yeah, no surprise to see the Swedes out in front here, Nige. They had the gates 1 and 3, which is an advantage early on here at the National Speedway Stadium. 2 Grand Prix riders looking very good indeed up against the Italians. Neither of them has raced here before. Cavati's having a go in third place, and Paco Castagna just a bit tailed off. But there's no doubt that Freddie Lindgren will want to complete these 4 laps, because his last visit here, he actually broke his neck. So he doesn't have great memories, but he's riding so very well, and he's looking very fast. I've got to say, Nico Cavati in third place is having a real go here.
Yeah, and when you look how quick Lindgren is, he's going to win this race comfortably. Cavati isn't giving up, to be fair, but the Swedes get a 5-1. Freddie Lindgren, 3 points for him. That's why he's the World Championship leader. Outpaced everybody there, including his own teammate. Cavati was third, and it's a 5-1 to Sweden in these opening round of races. We predicted that, and Lindgren super quick, and absolutely the last time this man was around this track, he was taken away with a broken bone in his neck, riding for Wolverhampton in the Cup final against Bellevue last October. And what a comeback he has made, Freddie Lindgren. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Lindgren to come back like he has. It's a 5-1, and the standings, Czech Republic and Sweden are in the top 2 positions. Great Britain are on 4, France 2 so far, and we await the arrival of Australia for the first time tonight with the world individual champion Jason Doyle, joined by Max Frick here in heat number 4 up against the Czech Republic, who are out for the second time tonight.
Yeah, we see it again, and it's all about Sweden right from the word go. Lindback makes a great start on the inside. Fredrik Lindgren coming around the outside of him, and once Lindgren does hit the front, he pulls away, and it's a very straightforward race for the Swedish team. No surprise up against the boys from Italy. It's a brave effort from Nico Cavati in third place. He makes Lindback work throughout the 4 laps, but Freddie Lindgren was mightily impressive out in front, very quick indeed, and he's been fast right from the opening league matches in Poland this year, and we saw it clearly demonstrated there. Little bit of needle between Ty Woofenden and Freddie Lindgren in the Prague Grand Prix. Will be interesting to see how that plays out later today, but opening race win for Lindgren looking good.
Yep, so heat number 4 is here. The Australian under-21 rider is Jamin Lidzi on the sidelines. The manager of Australia, by the way, is Mark Lemon, who is also the Bellevue manager in the British League. So a proud moment for Mark to be leading his country here at his home domestic track in the UK. So it is Australia against the Czech Republic here. Heat number 4, and the world individual champion Jason Doyle is in red off the inside gate for Australia. Gate 2 in white is Vaclav Milik for the Czech Republic off gate number 2 in white. Gate 3 is Max Frick of Australia, also rides for Bellevue, knows this track inside out, rides for Wrocław as well in Poland, and that's where we'll go at the weekend for the final over 2 nights, Friday and Saturday, of the Speedway of Nations. And off the outside in yellow, Joseph Frank. Mark Lemon watching on, the Australian team manager. Here we go with heat number 4 in the Speedway of Nations here in Manchester. And what a start from Milik. Milik has got a jet propelled getaway. And now Jason Doyle is up the inside and Frick comes through. And charging through here for the Czech Republic is Joseph Frank. This is a shock result so far, but coming through is Max Frick and Australia now and squaring this race off at 3-all. But Keld, you did say the man in white, Vaclav Milik, could be a spoiler here tonight.
Well, so it's proving so far. Doyle's going to have to work very hard to get the better of him. Milik was really sharp away from the tape. Doyle is beginning to really look very threatening in second place again, but Milik is looking good. Joseph Frank has now been relegated to the back. This is a surprise in lots of respects, but possibly the experience of one race under their belts could be proving to be quite useful. But Milik, he's a class performer these days and he's riding great out in front.
Oh, battle at the back here, and Frick is really having to work hard to get the better of Joseph Frank, who's put in a brave effort. Vaclav Milik is going to get the win under pressure here from Jason Doyle. Third in blue was Max Frick, and it's a 3-all, and hats off to Vaclav Milik. That was a good ride from the Czech Republic rider. They've got 8 points from 2 rides now. They're in the mix already. That was good stuff from the Czech Republic rider, and it's 3 points to get the Australians underway from their opening race tonight. But Vaclav Milik has beaten the world individual champion Jason Doyle around here in heat number 4, the opening race of the night for the Australians. 3 apiece, Australia, Czech Republic, and the standings after 4 heats now: Czech Republic 8, Sweden 5, Great Britain have 4, Australia 3, but the Czech Republic have ridden 1 more race than the others. Well, Vaclav Milik.
Yeah, it was a super ride from Vaclav Milik, got to believe that. He was so sharp away from the tapes. Max Frick, nervous on the start there, did move. Interesting to see that he actually penalised himself quite badly there. And just momentarily here, Joseph Frank also gets in amongst it, and they were looking very dominant right from the word go. Look at that start from Milik. Fabulous start from him. He rides very well out in front. He comes under pressure midway through the race from Doyle. You saw Joseph Frank there just straightening up momentarily, and that allows Frick to pounce and get through to third place. But it's a race-long battle for third place. There's no doubt that Frank doesn't throw the towel in. He keeps coming at Frick, who wasn't that convincing there. But got to say, Vaclav Milik, that's a terrific start from him. And 8 points for the Czech Republic. That's a great start.
Yep, so 4 heats gone here, and Czech Republic lead on 8 points, but Sweden, well, they have a powerful partnership tonight. Fredrik Lindgren and Antonio Lindback, and their manager is Morgan Anderson, who's with Kiri Blore.
Morgan Anderson, the Sweden team manager. Well, that was certainly a fantastic way to start.
Yeah, that's still 5 team to be against, but 5-1 against the Italian is after the plan, yes.
Boys look like they're riding well together.
Yeah, Antonio have a good look on the back straight there, and that's what we need to do in this kind of competition. It's a pair racing, it's look after your partner.
Indeed. Well, tactics can come into play, swapping the gates at any point. Have you put that into consideration yet, looking at your draw?
Yeah, we have, but I keep that for myself. We take heat by heat now, you know, so we see which team we are against and what kind of gates we have, so 1 by 1.
Thanks, Morgan.
Cheers.
I've been here quite a lot actually as a team manager and working for television. I've got to say that the outside gate can be quite challenging early on in the meeting. It could change as the dirt goes wider in the first corner, but there's no doubt that the inside gate has worked very well so far. We've seen that, but I was very impressed with Milik last time out.
Waszek, no to się nazywa start. Macie 8 punktów po 2 startach, co prawda, ale pokonałeś Australijczyków. No, lepszego startu nie mogłeś sobie wymarzyć.
No to drugie pole, tak jest naprawdę, widać, że tam było dużo materiału takiego ubitego. No i fajnie mi się podarzyło start zrobić i no później tak fajnie się jechałem środkiem toru, bo tutaj dużo materiału jest mokrego i da się napędzać fajnie. No i na razie jestem bardzo zadowolony z tego, że mamy tyle punktów, ale jeszcze długa droga przed nami.
Jest długa droga w rzeczy samej. Zaczęliście od wykluczenia rywala. Ty byłeś tuż koło niego. Nie wytrzymał po prostu chłop.
No ja tak już, bo długo trzymała się taśma i tak już myślałem, że będzie start, nagle widziałem jak się taśma rusza, to tylko zobaczyłem, że właśnie Lahti poszedł w taśmę i był wykluczony. No taki żużel, no. Trzeba, bo później mieliśmy delikatnie łatwiejszy bieg, ale no więc podarzyło się nam ze startu wyjść i no i fajnie wygrali tego pierwszego biega.
A ten tor trudny, bo ty na nim po raz pierwszy tak naprawdę jedziesz. Szybko się połapali z ustawieniami.
No mogę powiedzieć, że pierwszy raz na tym torze jadę i no i bardzo fajnie mi się jedzie, bo taki bardzo europejski tor, bardzo okrągły, no i właśnie da się tutaj napędzać, tylko delikatnie mógłby być więcej zbronowany start na moje zdanie, bo ten start jest tak dosyć twardy, ale więc no trzeba się dopasować, ale mi się wydaje, że jest okej, jest fajnie.
Dziękuję Ci bardzo. Powodzenia. Tyle Waszek Milik.
Dziękuję, pozdrawiam.
Riding nicely, Vaclav Milik, and I think he'd certainly do himself justice on a regular Grand Prix stage as a regular of the series. He's certainly got the ability in the class.
There's no doubt he was in contention for a pick. I think if two former world champions hadn't have been injured, I get the feeling he would have had a chance to be a fully fledged Grand Prix rider. It was just a little unfortunate there. Changes now in Speedway Great Britain team. Robert Lambert will come in. I understand that. Cook was nervous and ran in third place, and Lambert has been in fine form. I think this is a wise move by Anna Rossiter, the team manager. Don't blame him at all. I think we saw Robert Lambert riding in Britain very recently, Nigel, and he was in great form.
Yeah, he scored 17 points for Kings Lynn in our televised meeting at Rye House last Monday. He won the British Under-21 final up at Berwick, and really has been in sizzling form everywhere he's been, in Poland as well, in Germany.
Yeah, he's riding on the continent as well. He rides in Sweden and Poland, so he's gaining lots of experience very quickly. Just a break here for track prep, and boys just keenly looking. Woofenden looked fantastic. He's been in really good form. Struggled for form a little bit last year. He ended up with a good result in the championship, third, but at times he sort of found it difficult to really hit top form, but this season he looks much more relaxed, and he's riding really well. Won in Warsaw, of course, and was in the final in Prague. Robert Lambert, I do think that he's got something about him, and who knows, I think he could be the next British rider that could make the Grand Prix series proper.
Yeah, he seems to have the setup, he seems to have the class about him.
Yeah.
Certainly a terrific rider, Robert Lambert.
Yeah, very patriotic pair of goggles he's got there. I think the Union Jack all over them. And as I say, I'm interested to see how he copes with this pressure. I do think he'll do it. But we've got Finland. Timo Lahti will be looking forward to trying to stay involved with his first ride with that unfortunate tape exclusion in the opening race, but here we see Lambert appearing now for his opening ride in the Speedway of Nations, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on.
Yep, so Robert Lambert, a big moment for him. Heat number 5. It's Finland against Great Britain, and you do feel that the British side are going to have to be looking to fill their boots here.
Yeah,
so,
they need to, because those crunch races late on in the evening, I think these are the sort of races they need to get maximum points from. So looking forward to seeing Robert Lambert coming out now.
Great Britain manager Alan Rossiter watching on alongside Craig Cook as we build up to heat number 5 here. And Great Britain against Finland. Finland with Timo Lahti on a warning already. Of course, had that unfortunate situation in the opening race for the Finnish side when Lahti was thrown out because of a tapes infringement. And it's Ty Woffenden and Robert Lambert for Great Britain in heat number 5. I can tell you that going off the inside is Timo Lahti for Finland. Gate 2 in white is Ty Woffenden for Great Britain. That's the man we're talking about. Gate 3 in blue, Tero Aarnio for Finland, and Robert Lambert, the talented youngster, going off the outside gate in a yellow helmet for Great Britain.
Yeah, absolutely. Great Britain going off 2 and 4. And not an easy start for Robert Lambert from gate 4. He'll need to do something quite good from there. track will be a little bit drier on the outside, so he may well be able to sweep round the outside of the opposition if he doesn't quite make a clean getaway. We've got Ty Woofenden just turning around. Plenty of gardening going on the start line by Robert Lambert, just using his steel shoe on his left foot there just to pack the dirt down, just to get his maximum grip, because he knows it's a long way from gate 4. If he can jump ahead of Arneo in gate 3, he'll give him a very good chance of joining Woofenden in that first corner.
Yep, here we go then with heat number 5. And so far so good for the Czech Republic with 8 points from 2 rides, but
good
we'll
start.
remind you that Sweden started with a 5-1 of their own. Great Britain started with a 4-2. They have to be looking for a 5-1 here. Woofenden and Lambert for Great Britain. This is heat number 5 at the National Speedway Stadium in Manchester. Here we go. Great start from Woofenden from gate number 2. Now can Lambert join him? Lambert goes high and wide in the dirt and comes around the outside. Now Woofenden looking over his shoulder, looking for the team riding situation. Woofenden inside, Lambert outside, and Woofenden just keeps flicking over his right shoulder just to take a look. And Woofenden now, you can be sure, will try and go wheel to wheel in tandem with Lambert.
Well, there's no doubt about that. This is a classic scenario of a 5-1. The fastest way is on the inside at the moment, so Woofenden had to slow down for his partner. He's allowed Robert Lambert to come round, and they're under no pressure at all. Timo Laartje, you're seeing clearly there again, the inside line is significantly quicker than the middle of the track, so Woofenden is having to slow his pace just a little bit to allow Lambert just to keep his nose in front around the outside. Classic bit of team riding, and this is exactly what Great Britain needed.
Yep. Well, they're making it look easy here. It's a convincing victory over Timo Laartje, and Great Britain fill the boots. Big 5-1 for Great Britain. Good stuff from Lambert and Woofenden. And Woofenden back in the side, as we say, and a huge boost to Great Britain. Woofenden, by the way, also rides for Wroclaw in the Polish League. So, going through to the final, which we expect, and most people here tonight hope will happen, Woofenden would be riding on home shale in Poland. It's a great ride. Robert Lambert and Ty Woofenden in the Speedway of Nations, and the home crowd are delighted with that.
They look good together as well, and rightly so, they're pleased. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Lambert and Woofenden coming out for more action as the evening progresses.
Yep, 5-1 to Great Britain then, puts them on to 9 points now. They lead the meeting. Finland now back on 2 points. They've been on the wrong end of 5-1s twice now tonight. But Great Britain 9 from 2 rides. That will do them for now, and we know that the big showdowns are going to be when they're up against Sweden and Australia.
Yeah, heats 17 and 20, they're the ones to keep your eye out for. Woofenden perfect in the first corner. Has a good long look for his partner as they come out of the first corner. You'll see it here. This is classic stuff. They're not under too much pressure here, so Woofenden can slow the race down to allow Lambert to come at him. It's a bit more tricky if you've got somebody like Freddie Lindgren or Jason Doyle chasing you, then you've got to respect that a little bit more. But it's a great way to start the night. They've only dropped 1 point from 2 heats, and they're looking set. And that's a great settler for Robert Lambert as well. He'll be pleased to get that first heat under his belt, and I'm sure we're going to see more of him throughout the evening.
Yep, so we move on to heat number 6 here. France against Sweden.
Don't say that very often in Speedway, do you?
Say that very often in Speedway, absolutely. There's been some classic football contests down the years between France and Sweden. But this is Speedway tonight, and it's the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations. And for the French, it's David Bellego and Dimitri Berge, and then it's Fredrik Lindgren and Antonio Lindback for the Swedes, who really are a powerhouse duo, aren't they?
They are indeed, and there's no doubt that Lindgren is he leads the World Championship. He won in Prague, and he's in the form of his life, and he's looking like he's really hungry for a World Championship. Antonio Lindback, you never quite know what you're going to get from him. He can be fabulous. He was brilliant in the World Cup last year, but lost his permanent place in the Grand Prix, so he is peaks and troughs, Lindback. If he's on, he's a tough man to beat, but they're a handy pair, there's no doubt about that.
So, France in the red and blue helmet colours, Sweden in the white and yellow. This is heat number 6 here at Bellevue. 8 tries, and it's a good start on Antonio Lindback in yellow. Lindgren is going to sweep high around the outside down that back straight. He makes it look so easy. Third in red is David Balego. Dimitri Berge is at the back, and Sweden are on a 5-1. And this would put Sweden onto a maximum 10 points from 2 rides. Lindback absolutely flying. Lindgren alongside him. They're making it look very, very simple here.
Yeah, very impressive as well. They've got away from the tapes nicely, and they've got so much speed. David Balego just couldn't quite get there, and this competition quite hard going, but no real surprise to see the Swedes dominating the race against the French, but you've got to say they're doing it in great style, and Antonio Lindback looks like he's really enjoying himself. You watch, he's allowing the bike to really run wide, right up in the grip, high on the banking, roaring down the back straight with Speedway Racing.
It is indeed. It's great stuff from Sweden. Antonio Lindback, who had a brief spell as a Bellevue rider at their former Kirkmansham Lane home, just away from here. You can actually see the stand on the home straight from where Bellevue used to ride at the old Greyhound track here. And Lindback was there for a brief time, and he's back in Manchester tonight and has got a 5-1 there over David Balego for the Swedes against the French. And as I said in commentary during the race, 10 points from 2 rides for Sweden. It couldn't go any better than that for them.
No, they're looking really good. Dimitri Berge had some sort of mechanical issue. No such problems for the Swedes, though. They've come here, they've got a powerful pair, and they're looking very impressive. So, unbeaten so far for Team Sweden.
A reminder tonight, it's all about the top 2 at the end of 21 heats going through to the final, and then the 3rd, 4th and 5th will race off over 2 heats to decide who joins them in Poland on Friday and Saturday night.
Gates 2 and 4 presents no problems at all for the Swedes, and you've got to say Antonio Lindback makes a great start. Lindgren just taking a little bit more time around the outside. He goes from gate 4, it is a long way from there, but he allows the bike to roar around the outside. His teammate is aware that he's coming. And then they ride very nicely together. Lindback enjoying himself right on the outside. You're watching it here. Look at that back tire right on the edge of the grip, really powering forward, and they dominate the heat quite nicely. But 10 out of 10 is a great way to start, but they've got tougher opposition to come later in the evening.
Absolutely. So we build up to heat number 7 here. And Sweden lead on 10 points so far. This one is Australia against Italy. Jason Doyle and Max Frick up against Nico Cavati and Paco Castagna. Heat number 7. And Castagna, by the way, the son of the former Reading racer Armando Castagna. Nico Cavati, former Birmingham Brummie, is ridden for Ipswich as well, of course, in the UK. Nico Cavati and this man, Max Frick, familiar face around Bellevue.
Yeah,
rides here every week for the Aces. And just about got the nod for Australia, ahead of the likes of Brady Kurtz, Josh Krzyzonic, Jack Holder, Chris Holder, unavailable to ride tonight.
Must have helped that he rides here, Nige, and he also rides for Wroclaw as well, so that must have gone in his favour.
Here we go, heat number 7, Australia, off gates 1 and 3 in the blue and red helmet colours. Oh, a little nibble at the start from Cavati, and early on here we thought the red lights may have come on there. But it's Australia who are looking comfortable, and the man in the white helmet colour, Nico Cavati, has packed up. Bike problems there. Australia looking good, no problem for them. Jason Doyle is the man in red, Max Frick is the rider in blue, and in yellow is Paco Castagna, and Australia are now on a 5-1.
Yeah, they'll be comfortable now, but it wasn't comfortable initially because Jason Doyle was nervous on the start there. It was a little bit untidy, but Nico Cavati, his bike was packing up. I don't know what quite was going on there. Looks like a misfire, but now the Australian duo are looking quite comfortable out in front. Paco Castagna trying hard in 3rd place, but this will be a nice high-speed demonstration and a big 5 points for Australia after a slightly disappointing start for the Aussies with just the 3-all in their opening race. Doyle beginning to settle down nicely.
Yep, heat number 7 it is here in Bellevue, and 5 big points for Australia. It's a pattern emerging that we thought may emerge at the start of race off 2 tonight here in Manchester. The big nations, the Australians, the Swedes, the Brits, Czech Republic in the mix as well, all battling hard here. Mark Lemon, the Australian team manager, delighted to see his side get 5 points on the board. Against the lesser nations, you can only beat what's in front of you, is an old saying in sport, and that's exactly what Australia have done in heat number 7 to move on to 8 points now. Doyle, the race winner, the world individual champion. Frick was second. And Castagna in third place there. So Sweden now 10, Great Britain 9, Czech Republic and Australia on 8 points apiece. France on 3.
Yeah, no surprise to see Australia in front there, but just a few checks there on Jason Doyle's bike. Doyle actually lifted a couple of times there. He was untidy at the first corner, and I think if Nico Cavati hadn't have had problems, he would have made the start, and it would have been a little bit more difficult for Jason Doyle. But once they get round that first corner, there's no doubt that the two Australian boys dominate proceedings, and it wasn't a surprise at all. But the 5 points are very important because this is going to get really tight as the meeting develops, as the big guns come together. These 5-1s earlier on in the evening will be very crucial. Doyle and Max Frick looking pretty good here, but they need to be because Sweden and Great Britain look good as well.
They do indeed. Jason Doyle, just 1 or 2 bits of work on the bike as we build up to heat number 8. And
Great Britain out again. We don't
Great
quite
Britain,
know who's come out here. Is it Robert Lambert or
Lambert
is
is
it
the man.
Craig Cook?
Yep, Lambert is the man in heat number 8, replacing Craig Cook. So another opportunity for the Norfolk youngster, Robert Lambert, in for Cook here. So it's the Czech Republic up against Great Britain in the Speedway of Nations pairs action here tonight, but you can bring in your under-21 reserve as many times as you like. That's what Great Britain have done here by bringing in Robert Lambert. So it's Czech Republic up against Great Britain in heat number 8.
Looking forward to this, Nigel, because Milik has been flying.
Yeah.
And this will be a stiffer test for the Great Britain boys. Woofenden, of course, will be accustomed to the class of Milik. Rides with him, of course, in Wroclaw. But Robert Lambert, this will be a stern test. He's got Gate 4 as well. And Joseph Frank is no slouch. So a good heating prospect here.
It is indeed, as we build up to heat number 8. Woofenden unbeaten in 2 outings. Lambert unbeaten in his only ride so far. Cook of Great Britain, Bellevue rider as well. This is heat number 8. Here we go. Great start from Woofenden. Jet propelled. Now, can Lambert join him? Oh, Milik goes square down that back straight. Lambert joined him. Good ride from Robert Lambert. Watch for Woofenden now. Woofenden will hold the inside. He will look over his shoulder regularly to try and protect Robert Lambert from the serious threat that is Vaclav Milik. And Woofenden again over his shoulder down that back straight, looking for his partner.
Doing a great job, Ty Woofenden. What a first corner from Robert Lambert. Milik was right in the mix there, but he powered around the outside. No easy task. There's no question in my mind that Lambert had the worst of the 2 gates, and he got there. Great stuff from him. Milik is now being dropped. This is a good ride, a big confidence booster for Great Britain team. A lap to go. Lambert and Woofenden stuck together, glued together. Great harmony out in front.
Yeah, Woofenden holding in second place, but Lambert riding beautifully here. It's a dream start to the meeting for Robert Lambert. 2 outings and 2 wins for the youngster. Brilliant stuff from Robert Lambert, the British under-21 champion, and team riding in unison with Ty Woofenden beautifully.
Good stuff.
And the home crowd are delighted, Carl.
Yeah, and rightly so. And Alan Rossiter with a big beaming smile. That could have proved to be tricky, that one. Milik has been unbeaten. He's been looking very useful. But Woofenden, fabulous, looking really comfortable out there. Robert Lambert really hustling around that first corner. And he got himself into the right place at the right time. Team Great Britain certainly looking very good.
Yep, 5-1 to Great Britain. Robert Lambert and Ty Woofenden. And Britain now are on 14 points and lead the meeting after 3 outings.
Yeah, great stuff here, Nigel, wasn't it? You know, good to see a youngster coming good, and he's had 2 rides and he hasn't been beaten by an opponent. He dropped the clutch absolutely spot on. It was quite a test for him. You see, he drops the clutch almost a little bit too early there. But Woofenden on gate 2, he's comfortable into the first corner. And Lambert, you've got to say that Milik is a world-class rider, right in between them there. No easy task to get round the outside of Milik. But Robert Lambert does. He's being looked after by Woofenden on the inside. Again from the tapes. Woofenden's bike's working a treat. He's there comfortably on the inside. Milik there hustling, hanging onto the bike. And then Lambert charges down the back straight. Woofenden's aware. And from that moment on, they dominate proceedings. And it really is a great test, because that was a more challenging race. There's no question about that. And they came through with flying colours.
Yep, so heat number 9 will be next with France against Finland. Alan Rossiter, the Great Britain team manager, switching things around, making the changes early on, and they've worked nicely. Robert Lambert, what a start for that young man. And Ty Woffordham back in British colours and unbeaten in 3 rides.
Yeah, he's looking really good, and he's looked good all season. A little bit of a team meeting, and they're seeing that, but Woofordham's having to ride with the eyes in the back of his head almost, because the inside line is much quicker than middle of the track, but they're working it well, and he's showing great class. Certainly Lambert, got to say, it's going to be hard to pull him out now and give another ride to Craig Cook, isn't it? Because Lambert has certainly ridden very well, and the 2 opportunities he's had.
Very much so. Alan Rossiter talking to Robert Lambert and Craig Cook. And Ty Woofenden is with Kiri in the pits.
Ty, maximum points out there with Robert. Looked like you guys were riding comfortably as a pair.
Yeah, it was nice. Obviously, on the track I can have a good look around, and Rob said he'd rather go from gate 4, and I was on the inside and did a bit of team riding with him, which is what the event's about. So yeah, it worked well, and we had a couple of 5-1s, so we'll keep pushing for the next ones. I think the next race we're actually out after a track grade, and they'll possibly water it, so it could be a bit tricky.
Okay, what's the track riding like?
The first few races it was pretty shocking, like really slippery and inconsistent, but now it's starting to dry out a little bit, and you're getting a bit more consistency, so we'll see how the next few races go.
Thanks, Ty.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's spot on there about conditions. They had to plough a lot of water on it because it's been such a glorious day, and the track was drying out so rapidly, and it has improved. A little bit rutty in places, but it isn't causing too many problems. But no, we are beginning to build up, and the picture is beginning to emerge.
Craig Cook, człowiek, który najpierw spóźnił start, potem wystartował bardzo dobrze, ale w trzecim biegu nie pojechał. Craig, first time on, you were late at the start. Then the start was perfect, but then you were out. Why is the decision?
That was always the decision before the meeting even started. You know, I'll do the first one and give Robert a go, and just to see how we went. Fortunately for me, I had not a very good gate in the first one, and kind of got filled in, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what the boss says after this one.
Zapytałem, skąd ta zmiana. Powiedział, że tak było od samego początku, tak miało być od samego początku. Robert miał pojechać się tak szybko, jak to tylko możliwe, żeby zobaczyć, w jakiej on jest formie. Rzeczywiście spóźnił ten swój pierwszy start, a jak będzie potem, no tego jeszcze nie wiadomo. To dopiero zobaczymy. Na razie Wielka Brytania bardzo dobrze, bo prowadzi 14 punktami. Congratulations, thank you very much, and good luck.
Well, not an easy interview for Craig Cook when you're asked why were you pulled out.
How do you answer that as a rider?
Exactly, you just have to be honest, and I think he was. So, particularly as his replacement is unbeaten in the next 2 outings.
I
So
thought Craig did well there.
yeah, he did. He was very professional. So it wasn't the easiest thing for him to do, but he fronted up, which is to his credit.
Now Mark Lemon is the Australian team manager, and he is talking to Kiri.
8 points in total already. The guys are riding well.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, obviously, we're just trailing a little bit now, and there's a little bit of work to do. The boys are just sort of dialing their bikes in. It's not flowing as confidently as we would like, but it's early days. So it's a big test in this one against the Swedes. So, you know, there's some brutal races out there to be done, because it is the Speedway of Nations, of course.
Oh, it's tricky going up against the Swedes. Those boys have been riding well so far.
Yeah, they've looked class at the moment. So the boys have to dial their bikes in now and then go for it and stretch those throttle cables.
It looked like Jason and Max just got a bit more comfortable as the heats went on together.
Yeah, obviously they got a nice lead, and that was probably an easier race, probably the easiest race of the night. And yeah, they just got out in front and had a nice, comfortable lead. But so they just sort of chilled off a little bit, saving the engines. But it's business time now.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Cheers.
Yeah, I have to say, I think it's a fair summing up from Mark Lemon. I think they haven't quite hit their stride yet, the 2 Australians, but they're going to need to in Heat 10, because Sweden are looking very impressive indeed. So that's quite a tasty lineup in Heat number 10 with Doyle, Max Frick, Freddie Lindgren and Antonio Lindback. That's a real top-class heat to look forward to. Heat number 9 is next with France and Finland. and an opportunity, both these teams, to steal some points. A beautiful evening, it really is. Manchester is bathed in sunshine, and the National Speedway Stadium is looking quite a picture. And we've got a top-class international event to really whet the appetites, and there's a healthy crowd as well.
Yep, bathed in sunshine, good to see. Good crowd. Not quite as many as were here for the World Cup a couple of years ago, but they were the final. That was the race-off of the final. This is the qualifier, of course, and it was a weekend when we had the final here and the race-off. This, of course, is knockout round 2. Effectively the final qualifying round, because the final 3 nations that we get tonight will be making up the 7 finalists, and the final over 2 nights in Poland. Effectively, whatever you do over those heats, it all boils down still to one race to decide the championship.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be quite a long haul, isn't it? And then it comes down to that last race on Saturday evening. It really is going to be quite tense indeed. Thoroughly looking forward to it. I think it's going to be extremely competitive races in Wrocław. It's a great city and a great stadium, so really looking forward to it.
So heat number 9 here in the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations is on the way. So here we go with heat 9 then in Bellevue, Manchester. Great Britain the leaders of the meeting so far, but they have raced one more than all the other nations. This heat 9 is France against Finland. It is David Bellego and Dimitri Berge for the French, up against Timo Lahti and Tiro Arnio for Finland. Lahti and Arnio both had careers in the UK, of course, on a regular basis. Bellego rides for Swindon in the Premiership, and Berge has just signed for Redcar in the Championship.
But he has plenty of experience in the Championship, doesn't he, Nige?
Yep, certainly does.
He's hasn't had a great night so far. He needs to make a start. David Bellego gates from gate 3 this time. If he hits the front, Bellego's more than capable of winning the race.
Well, 5 of the 7 nations here tonight will progress past heat 21. And this is a vital race with 2 of the lesser nations. If one of these gets a 5-1 here, they could be in with a sniff of a run-off later on tonight.
That's a very good point. So it's an important race for both countries.
Here we go. Heat number 9. 10 tries. Who will emerge here? It's a good start from gate number 2. That is Timo Lahti for Finland. Oh, and going high and wide, and
Bellego
really making a mess of that was Dimitri Berge. Through into second spot right now is David Bellego. Bellego locks up now, trying the inside run for the French, who are on a 3-all. Right now, the lead is with Timo Lahti in white. The man in red is Bellego, trying everything here. He's got lots of speed. We could have a good race on our hands here.
He's coming. Timo Lahti's now switched his line. He's gone to mid-track. Bellego chops to the inside. Clever thinking from Timo Lahti there. He was vulnerable where he was riding. He's moved out a little bit wider, and he's just pulled a little bit further away. Dimitri Berge back in 3rd place with Arnio pushing hard out the back. But Timo Lahti maybe a little bit too wide, and Bellego's got half a chance of coming back at him.
Well, I can also tell you the man at the back, Tiro Arnio, has lost his steel shoe, so he's having to leg trail as well. We saw that on Saturday in Germany, but the win here is for Timo Lahti. That's a good ride, because he was under pressure from Bellego there, and Lahti decided to really go wide towards the fence and take the line that nobody else has done so far tonight. It was a nice ride.
Well, I think he went where nobody's been before, because he was
nobody dare
go, because he was extremely wide going through for no steel shoe. That is ever so uncomfortable, and it's not quite as bad here with the big long corners, but he would have had an uncomfortable ride. But Timo Lahti, that's a great way to bounce back, but not really ideal for either team. A 3-all there doesn't really help them. They were really looking for a 5-1, but France and Finland having a good battle.
Yeah, how many times do we say it in football where a draw's not really any good to either side?
Exactly right.
Yep, so a 3 apiece there. France 6, Finland 5. Just a reminder, top 2 after 21 heats, straight through to the final in Poland at the weekend. Wrocław. And the next race, by the way, Sweden are up against Australia.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. Bit of action there with... Dimitri Berge got it a bit wrong there. David Bellego was looking very threatening indeed until Timo Lahti actually switched his racing line He was on the inside of the track, but that wasn't proving to be any good. Dimitri Berger all over the place when he caught a rut in the first corner. Does well not to collect his teammate. Pelego comes on strong, but now we see Timo Laji. I tell you what, he had his heart in his mouth there. No question about that, but he recovers, and he recovers to pick up the race win. 3-all, not quite what they were looking for, but entertaining nonetheless.
Very much so. Heat number 10 here in Manchester. Sweden are in the red and blue helmet colours. Australia, managed by Mark Lemon, who we just saw in shot there.
Yep.
White and yellow. What a lineup this is.
This is it. Yeah, absolutely. This is a tough one.
Fredrik Lindgren and Antonio Lindback for Sweden, unbeaten so far. Jason Doyle and Max Frick for Australia. It's Australia in the white and yellow helmet colours. Sweden are off red and blue with Lindback in the blue helmet. You can see his partner is off gate 3, Freddie Lindgren in red. This man in white is Jason Doyle, the world individual champion. What a story that was, how he won that title last year.
Yeah.
Rode actually for his nation, Australia, in the World Cup when he was still injured. That's what it means to him to ride for Australia.
I think he's been riding injured forever. He's had all sorts of problems.
He's the bionic man.
He is the bionic man, but he did remarkably well with that broken foot with 17 screws or whatever it was. But this is some lineup. The Swedes are unbeaten, Nigel. Something may have to give here, but if Sweden could beat Australia, if they could really power to the front here, this is going to really give them a boost and get plenty of momentum for this race off 2.
Yeah, it should be a good race, this one. Heat number 10, Sweden against Australia. And they're away first time of asking, what a start from Jason Doyle in white. Doyle has the lead. Frick's in trouble and has gone down. Frick's in trouble and has gone down, and here comes Lindgren down that back straight. Freddie Lindgren charging hard, but Doyle holds the line. Lindgren's on one wheel. This is a great race emerging here. Frick has pulled up. He's got problems. Doyle has the lead. Lindgren will push him every step of the way.
Lindgren's looking really threatening, desperate to get to the front. Again round the outside, Freddie Lindgren. Doyle on the inside, over the start and finish line. Doyle down to the outside. Lindgren switches to the inside. Done him. What a move from Freddie Lindgren. Doyle could do nothing about that. That was a fabulous pass.
That boy's on fire right now. He leads the World Individual Championship. They call him Fast Freddie, and he's just passed the reigning world champion Jason Doyle, who made a wonderful start to the race. And 4-2 to Sweden here. Can anybody beat this man? Fast Freddie Lindgren. What a race of speedway.
Brilliant stuff, race of the night so far, without question. Lindgren, who didn't get away that well from gate 3. Great start from Doyle. Doyle will be gutted about that, but he was defenceless. He went outside, he went inside. He just could not resist the move from Freddie Lindgren. Lindgren worked it out beautifully. He was out of shape early on. He was on one wheel. He was a little bit untidy, but the resolve, the determination in Lindgren is a sight to behold. Fabulous ride.
Well, Lindgren unbeaten from 3 rides. What a performance. Lindgren the winner. Second was Doyle and third was Lindback. A 4-2 to the Swedes, who are on 14 points, level with Great Britain now after 3 rides apiece. And the best race of the night as Freddie Lindgren passes Jason Doyle and looked so much quicker in doing so.
Yeah, he has had speed throughout the season, whether it's in Poland, Sweden or in the Grand Prix. And here in the Speedway of Nations in Race Off 2, Freddie Lindgren, Max Frick initially got in all sorts of problems there and slips off the bike and his race is run. But Freddie Lindgren coming charging around the outside. Doyle responds, switches to the outside. Lindgren back on one wheel, Antonio Lindback on the inside. But once again, Freddie Lindgren, although he was a little untidy early in the race, look at this, he's having to battle the bike, it's bucking underneath him there, but he winds it on, and look at this move. Doyle switches to the outside, Lindgren read it beautifully, switches to the inside, and really and truly, Doyle, the world champion, as much as he really did try to resist the moves from Freddie Lindgren, he was defenceless there. Superb move from Freddie Lindgren, that's why he leads the world championship.
Absolutely superb from Lindgren in heat number 10. Unstoppable in the form of his career, and who would have thought that after coming back from a broken bone in his neck?
Well, 2 years ago he was retiring.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden he looks like a potential world champion. He's fit, he's keen, he's hungry, he's riding as well, he's never ridden better.
No, it really is a tremendous performance from Lindgren. Here we have heat number 11 now, and it's Italy against the Czech Republic. Big race here for the Czech Republic, you would think.
Yeah, but the Republic are only 1 point behind Australia, and Australia need to up their game.
Yeah, Yeah, 5-1 could put the cat amongst the pigeons, as they say. Václav Milik and Josef Frank in white and yellow for the Czech Republic. And for Italy, it's Cavati in red and Castagna in blue. And a big meeting here at the National Speedway Stadium. And heat number 11 it is, here in Manchester. Oh, movement there. Castagna, red lights on straight away.
Yeah, I think Cavati was a touch keen there.
Yeah,
Looked like the rider in blue
quickly.
for me.
Yep. Phil Morris is the race director. He's
There's going to be a warning.
awaiting feedback from our referee Jesper Steentoft.
You see it clearly now. The rider on the inside drops the clutch very early indeed, and he's fortunate. It's actually Castagna, isn't it? Excuse me. It's a warning. It's a clear warning for him. But feeling the pressure on the start line.
Phil Morris has just had a word in his ear. There is the race director, Philip Morris, who actually had a very brief spell as a Bellevue rider during his career. Phil, and he has just had a word in the ear of Paco Castagna. That is a warning for the Italian.
Yeah, I don't think he's surprised because he must have been aware that he was very keen. Works in the family business these days. Paco was telling me about. He's in the kitchen. He's doing a lot of cooking these days. I must say, if you ever have the chance to visit the hotel and the family-run business by Castagna's, it's absolutely fabulous place.
Well, one or two last-minute adjustments here for Václav Milik. Bit of gardening at the gate.
Yeah, no surprise there. Milik, who will want to get away here. This is an important race for the Czech Republic here. This is an opportunity for them to actually put a lot of pressure on Australia. Australia have not been at their best, with Frick falling off last time and Freddie Lindgren coming through. And Sweden picking up a 4-2 against the Aussies. They're on 10 points after 3 heats. 9 points for the Czech Republic. Italy, potentially the weaker team. Czech Republic looking for big points here.
Yep, so Paco Castagna on a warning then for Italy here. Heat number 11, Jesper Steentoft is our referee from Denmark. And we're here tonight on this Tuesday night in Manchester. Then we're in Poland on Friday and Saturday, Wrocław. And I'm looking forward to going to that stadium because it's been redeveloped in a massive way in Wrocław over the last 2 or 3 years.
It has, Nigel. I was very fortunate to be there last year, and I must say they've kept the original design, but it's modernised throughout. It's a fantastic venue, I must say, and it'll be a terrific place for the finals.
Yep, and this venue here at Bellevue was in the planning for many, many, many years. Finally getting through the red tape to actually realise the dream of Speedway here at this purpose-built national stadium. They're away this time, and it's the man in white, Václav Milik, who has got the start here for the Czech Republic, and his teammate and partner Joseph Pepe Frank comes around the outside. Frank, who's a former Berwick Bandit, Newcastle and Sheffield rider, he's on a 5-1, and Milik could do with really looking over his shoulders here.
Not team riding at all, just left Frank to get on with it himself, because Castagna on the inside is working him really hard. Frank now just beginning to get a little bit of breathing space between himself and the opposition. Milik has just cleared off. He's just having a ride on his own, just having great fun out in front. Because Frank's having to work overtime in second place, but he is now beginning to look a little bit more comfortable.
Well, it wouldn't do him any harm if he just looked over his shoulder, would it? This is team riding.
Well, I think he might have to, Joseph Frank might have to remind him when we come back, we're not racing me, we are on the same team.
Yep, so it's Václav Milik down that back straight, looking very stylish, but hasn't looked over his shoulder once in this team riding tournament. But he just has a brief look now, just as he goes over the finish line. And good news for you, Václav, your teammate and partner is right behind you. Well done.
Job done, never in doubt.
That reminded me of you, Cal.
Oh, thanks very much. I knew that was coming. Just knew it. But at the end of the day, the 5 points are in the bag. And I've got to say that Joseph Frank had to work really very hard to get the second place, but in the end, all's well that ends well, eh?
Is that perhaps where Frank goes over and says, thanks, mate?
Yeah, appreciate your help.
Thanks for looking after me there. Yeah. So, anyway, it's had the desired effect, and Czech Republic now are on 14 points.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very important result for them, and Australia with 10 suddenly are looking a little bit vulnerable. and the Czech Republic are just put that bit of pressure on. Milik makes a great start and rides a great individual race here. Joseph Frank is left to fend for himself, and I've got to say that Frank actually does very well. He gets the better of Castagna. Castagna gets away quite nicely on the inside, and Frank gets round him. Milik has been good tonight, just slipped up once, where against Great Britain he wasn't able to land a really big blow, but here he's very impressive out in front, and with Frank coming through. 5 points, 14 in total. I must say, Czech Republic, Mark Lemon and the Australians must be feeling a little bit concerned in the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. Could get a little bit nervy a little bit later on. Here we have heat number 12. Finland and Sweden going head-to-head. You would expect a 5-1 for Sweden here, with Lindgren and Lindback up against Lahti and Arnio. Sweden's reserve, their under-21 rider, by the way, is Joel Kling, but because Lindback and Lindgren are doing such a great job, they retain that duo here. It's Finland in red and blue, Sweden in white and yellow. This is heat number 12 at this National Speedway Stadium. A big meeting here tonight and next Monday, the 11th of June, we're back here for the British final. And that is going to be a terrific night as Craig Cook of Bellevue looks to defend his title.
Yep.
And that is coming up here on Monday night, next Monday, the 11th of June. We fly back from Poland on the Sunday, and then it's straight back here on the Monday for the British final. And we're really looking forward to that one.
We are indeed. It's a great venue for it, and Craig Cook will have to be on top form, because riders like Robert Lambert, Dan Bewley, of course, his teammate here, will be very keen to steal that championship away from him. And of course, the best place rider that's not a Grand Prix rider will be the wild card at Cardiff in July.
Heat number 12 here at the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations here in Manchester. Here we go. Clean start. Lindback in yellow. Watch out for Lindgren now in white around the outside. Sweet as you like. And Lindgren really is making it look so easy as he goes wide. And he just, look at the way he's so smooth in the dirt. But it's Lindback who has the lead in yellow. Freddie Lindgren is second in white. Third in blue here is Tiro Arnio. Sweden on a 5-1 right now. And looking good to move on to 19 points.
They have. They've just switched over because Antonio Lindback was on the inside. He was going so fast. Crutchy, he was on very much on the outside there. But I say Tiro Arnio is really going well in third place, with Freddie Lindgren now on the inside. They were a little bit untidy, the Swedes there. They switched around, but they're still maintaining the big 5-1. But Tiro Arnio, well, credit to him, he's very much involved here in third place. But with less than a lap to go, the Swedes should pick up another 5 points.
Yep, they will do some track grading after this race and put some water down in Heat 12, and then Great Britain will be out in Heat 13. But it's a 5-1 for Sweden, and they are surely going to be heading through to the final in Poland on Friday and Saturday. And I'll tell you what, Freddie Lindgren and Antonio Lindback up against the Poles on their home shale,
Russia
Friday and Saturday.
Oh, it's going to be great, you know, with Russia already through, Germany as well, Denmark. It's going to be quite some special occasion over the weekend, but we're enjoying tonight, and Sweden certainly are. They were looking good once again in Heat 12.
Yeah, 5-1 to the Swedes, and that means that they rocket to the top of the leaderboard. They're on 19 points, Czech Republic 14, and Great Britain on 14, Australia 10.
Yeah, great stuff. I've got to say that it wasn't quite as convincing as I thought it'd be. Antonio Lindback rides well. They actually switched positions because Freddie Lindgren couldn't get round the outside of him. And Lindgren then switches to the inside, but Lindback had a couple of good looks, and he allows the bike to run wider. Here we are at the early start of the race. We're looking at the start. We're looking at Freddie Lindgren coming out of gate 4. Just snaking a little bit. It isn't easy from 4 because it's quite slick on the run to the corner. Plenty of grip on the outside. Bike pulling his arms off through the first turn. But Antonio Lindback and Freddie Lindgren now later in the race with Lindback on the outside. Again, lots of grip on the outside. And the bike just pulling him very hard. But both boys showing good speed. Got to have a word about Arnio there. Arnio did ride very well, and he was right in amongst it throughout the 4 laps. But for Freddie Lindgren and Antonio Lindback, they are in terrific form here, and I've got to say that Sweden are, after 4 rides on 19 points, just dropping 1 point. They are favourites. They've got to be.
Yeah, looking superb. So we've had 12 heats here in Manchester tonight. So that leaves us now with 9 qualifying heats remaining, and then we'll have the knockout heats to decide the one remaining nation. But it's all about the battle for the top 2. Sweden are looking great, Kelv, and you would think that it will probably be Sweden, Great Britain, Australia, 2 from those 3 to go automatically through to the weekend.
Yeah, unless Australia don't get their act together, because it will be the Czech Republic. But certainly you're right. At the moment, it's looking to me Great Britain and Sweden to go straight through, and then quite possibly a fight out between the Czech Republic and Australia.
Yeah, it's a beautiful evening here in Manchester. Great to see this stadium down the back straight particular. Absolutely packed. Now let's head down to the pits. Antonio Lindback of Sweden is with Kiri.
Antonio, you've got to be enjoying it out there with Freddie at the moment.
Yeah, it's fun, you know. Of course, everything is much easier if you make the start. But now I think the track is nice, a little bit slick, but it's still nice.
Put yourselves at the top of the leaderboard. Poland looks likely.
Yeah, you know, like, we was coming here today to try to win the meeting, and we're still trying, you know, but there's a few more races to go. But I still think we have a really good chance, and we just need to keep working hard.
And Freddie's absolutely flying as well.
Yeah, he is, you know, like, it's nice to have a teammate like that, you know, like, you don't need to worry about him. So.
Thanks, Antonio.
Thanks.
Well, they've got 2 races to go. They've completed 4, and they've got to race the Czech Republic. And a little later on in the evening in heat number 20, they have to go against Great Britain. That could actually prove to be the decider on the night. But so far they've gone great guns.
Antonio Lindbeck, czyli członek tego najlepszego na razie zespołu. Antonio, this is really per riding. It doesn't really matter who goes first, who goes second.
Now, I said before today, it was so nice to race with Lindgren, because we have raced many years together, you know. Not we have raced the same team, but we raced together. So I know we have him and he knows we have me, so it's feeling good to have him like a teammate.
Rzeczywiście Antonio mówi, że wspaniale jest jeździć z Freddiem, po prostu znakomicie im się razem jeździ. On mówi, że kompletnie nie musi się martwić o to, co będzie się działo na torze. On robi swoje, a wie, że o Frediego nie musi się martwić. No i wynik jest taki, jaki jest. Congratulations, Freddie, good luck.
Thanks.
Oh, Freddie. Antonio!
Nearly got it right, but Antonio is riding nicely, and he's clearly enjoying riding with Freddie Lindgren. It's always a pleasure to ride with a rider of the class of Freddie Lindgren. Within such top form. Plenty of grading going on. It had gone just a little bit slick there, but they're grading it back, and I get the feeling they may well put a bit of water on it as well, because it's just dried out a bit.
Yep, Great Britain against Italy is next up, and you could see that the dust was developing there in that last race. So the grading is on, and the more water will go down here in Manchester, and actually watering the track is never normally a problem here. It's normally done naturally.
Normally comes out of the sky, but there is none in the sky tonight, which is terrific. And we are enjoying decent weather and decent conditions, there's no question.
Let's hear from the Australian team manager, Mark Lemon, who's with Kiri.
Okay, Mark, first off, what happened with Max just out there?
I mean, he obviously got at the start not too bad, but spun up a little bit, and then obviously it was quite heavy on the outside, and as he sort of come around, you know, he got either a back wheel or a major roost, and obviously just washed his front wheel out. So, you know, he came back, his bike was just loaded with dirt. So, you know, it's one of those things, we could have complained to the referee, there's a bit of bunching, but, you know, it's World Championship, everyone's going for every inch. So let's just we put that one to bed now and have to focus on and regroup.
Now, looking at the points, it looks like there's a battle between you and the Czechs.
Yeah, it's looking that way, but I mean, obviously, if we can get a good heat result against the Team GB, that changes the complexion of the format or the running as it is. So that's what we're focused on right now. So we need some maximum points heats coming up. And but first of all, I just want to say thanks to the CBS Bins and Gilman Speedway in Australia and Motorcycle in Australia for helping us out, making us able to be actually these events.
Just looking at next heat, France up, that should make it a little bit easy to collect some points.
Yeah, I mean, David Balago goes pretty good. So, you know, we've got to be getting our A game. The boys are sort of not quite, you know, got their bike styled in, and it's a bit frustrating, you know, to sort of watch them sort of, you know, self-doubt themselves. So, you know, basically said just make a change, set up and believe in it and go for it. So that's what we've got to do.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers.
So 12 heats gone then here in Manchester. It's the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations, and just a little bit of track grading going on. Individual scorers so far. Freddie Lindgren is the man of the meeting with 10 points from 4 rides. It's all about teamwork and pairs, of course.
Yeah.
You see Woofenden and Lambert 7 and 6 respectively for Great Britain there, and
I suppose I'm accustomed to actually seeing the bonus points with that, because actually Lindgren hasn't been beaten, so he'll have a couple of bonus points with that. But no, it's even though the 2 Great Britain riders aren't at the top of the charts, they've been battling nicely and riding very well, and they're out here. They're out in heat 13, and this has got to be a 5-1 if they want to put pressure on the Swedish team. Then Robert Lambert, who comes out for his 3rd ride, he's been terrific so far with Tai Woofenden. Up against Italy, you've got to believe that they'll be looking for 5 points.
Will we see Cook again tonight?
Well, it's going to be awkward, isn't it? Because Lambert's come in and he hasn't been beaten. So unless he makes a howler, or he touches the tapes or does something silly, it's going to be difficult for Alan Rossiter to pull a rider out that's in such good form. If you've got a winning formula with big races to come, really big races, it'll be tough on Cook then to throw him back in against the Swedes. I think probably if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep. Craig Cook alongside Tai Woofenden, but Robert Lambert is the man who comes in here as a replacement for Craig Cook. The under-21 reserve can be used as many times as the team manager wants, and Alan Rossiter deciding that it's time to give Lambert a 3rd straight outing. Heat 13 coming up.
Yeah, heat 17 is when they go up against Australia. Mark Lemon, the team manager from Australia, was saying that could well change their fortunes. But Team Australia are going to have to improve their performance, because Great Britain have been very impressive, and there is no question that Australia have just not quite clicked so far this evening, so they've got to find it in the next couple of races. Bit of water going down, no surprise there, and an extended track grade here, but just sense that the track needed it, Nige. It was just beginning to get away from race director Phil Morris, and I think this is a wise move just to get the track back under control. When it dries too much and it gets dusty, you can't then water it because it goes very greasy. So fingers crossed that we get ideal racing conditions once again.
Yep. Bit of water going down then, and Phil Morris, the race director, just checking that everything's going according to plan.
Yeah, thumbs up from Phil there. So it looks like this will be the last lap from the water bowser. And track radar's off, so yes, we're about to go racing once again. Riders now moving back towards their equipment, so Woofenden and his mechanics, good to see him back in riding for Team Great Britain, isn't it? I think that it was desperately disappointing when such a class rider wasn't part of the scene, and you can see how good he is. He really is an inspirational figure. You can't not be inspired when you've got somebody like that in your side. So Woofy, who has not been beaten by an opponent, but as I say, this is not a race to be complacent about. They're just got to be professional here and try and pick up the 5-1.
So here we go with heat number 13 coming up. Great Britain have to be targeting a 5-1. Nothing less will do here. Woofenden and Lambert up against Cavati and Castagna. Here we go with heat number 13 then. Great Britain have to be looking for a 5-1. Nothing less will do. Any mechanical failure or a tapes infringement here could cost them, because they ideally want to finish in the top 2 tonight and avoid the knockout stages of tonight's meeting. It's Tai Woofenden and Robert Lambert once again, this time up against Nico Cavati and Paco Castagna. England versus Italy.
Yeah, we've heard that before,
yes.
But not necessarily in Speedway, but football. All day long, but this time they've swapped it around. They've got Lambert in blue off the inside and Woofenden in red going from gate 3 up against the Italian pair, and you've got to believe they're red-hot favourites. Nico Cavati doing some hard work on the outside, just getting a decent spot to find to drive away from, but Robert Lambert back in here. Alan Rossiter sticking with the same winning formula. Since the opening race for Great Britain, it's been Cook has been left out, so Lambert is still part of the pair, and that's not really a surprise.
Quite a backroom team for the new look Great Britain setup as well this year, including on the fitness and nutrition, Chris Neville, who used to work with the FA and was with Blackburn Rovers, and has certainly been heavily involved along with Paul Suggett on the fitness and nutrition side. So a little bit of football expertise coming into the Great Britain camp.
Yes, I think I need to go and see him, Chris Neville. I think my diet this week has probably been slightly less than perfect.
We've been on the road.
We have indeed. Right, here we go.
Yes, heat number 13. 10 tries, and it's a clean getaway for Ty Woffenden, but Lambert has been left standing at the start. This is not good for Great Britain. Robert Lambert has got to do something here. Woffenden, you can be sure, will look over his shoulder at one stage now. Cavati is in white. Third is Castagna for Italy. Woffenden now is looking over his shoulder, almost getting off the bike. Look how he's slowing up here. Woffenden slowing and slowing. Lambert now coming up the inside, trying to get through into third. It's Woffenden with the lead. Second place in white is Cavati. Lambert's come through. Now can Lambert close down the Italian? Nico Cavati. The race is on. Woffenden will look over his shoulder again, or has he decided just to clear off?
He's cleared off now, Nige. Nico Cavati in second place. Here comes Lambert round the inside. What a ride from Robert Lambert. Nico Cavati back up the inside. They almost clash. Lambert squares the corner off again down the back straight. Less than half a lap to go. One big chance here now through the last corner. Up the inside. No, not quite going to do it.
4-2. 4-2 for Great Britain against Italy is not enough. Unless things change later in the meeting, that might mean that Great Britain will have to rely on a knockout phase of tonight's event.
Big effort there. Woffenden was part of it. Got to say that don't quite know what happened on the start there, but Robert Lambert had no grip at all. He just seemed to sit there and the bike didn't go anywhere, and it just must have spun up in some loose material. Woffenden did all he could, but as hard as Lambert tried, he just could not get the better of Nico Cavati. So 4 points for Britain and 2 for Italy. Bit of a shock, that one.
Puts pressure on Great Britain now when they go up against Australia and Sweden. That's what it does.
Yep.
It puts huge pressure on Great Britain for those two key heats for them in heat number 17 and in heat 20. Heat 17 and 20 will decide whether Great Britain qualify automatically for the final or whether they go into the knockout stages.
Yeah, he just doesn't get away very well at all there, Robert Lambert. He doesn't really miss it. Bike just doesn't drive to the first corner as he would have wished, and he's struggling at the back. There you see it, just doesn't get a clean run to that first corner. Woffenden from gate 3, well, once again he's looking like he's going to be a difficult man to beat. He has a good look back and he realises his teammate is at the back. He slows down, he does everything he can. Nico Cavati, we see it now, with Paco Castagna now moving off the line in turns 3 and 4. Robert Lambert coming through into third place. He then sets after Nico Cavati, but just cannot quite land a blow. Woffenden really in a class of his own. That's the pass. And Nico Cavati then comes charging back at him. It really was very tight indeed. And Cavati rides strongly to get the better of the youngster and just to deny Robert Lambert and Great Britain the 5-1. So tough racing there.
Yep, so heat number 14 it is here now, and it is Australia against France. This is starting to get a little bit tense now, this Speedway of Nations knockout 2 here in Manchester. Doyle and Frick, they need a result here. They're against Bellego and Berge. Heat 14 it is. Australia are in red and blue. They're off gates 1 and 3. And it's France who are off gates 2 and 4. Sorry, I do apologise. Yes, France off 2 and 4.
You're right, you're not wrong. And keep with it. But this is a big race for Australia. They can ill afford to slip up here. They must get the 5 points.
Yeah, we would do Great Britain a favour if France can split them here. And it's a great start from Dimitri Berge in yellow. Who would have thought that? Now, can the Australians do something about it? Doyle in red.
Bellego.
Is there space? No, there is no space there, and Bellego's come through into third. Doyle is almost scraping the fence here. Jason Doyle around the outside.
Oh,
Frick comes through as well.
Berge.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Berge there, stopped the world champion coming at him, but he goes too wide, Doyle's through. Bellego, look at Berge, comes back in the world champion, forces Doyle wide. Doyle now squares the corner off, can he get back to the front? Going to be awfully tight. Doyle on the inside, Berge on the outside, Bellego Frick needs a big ride from the back. Here he comes round the outside, Frick. He's pushing hard, Bellego goes across in front of him. Look at the action for third place.
Goodness me, we've got one lap to go here. Australia are now on a 4-2, but coming back again is Bellego for third. David Bellego for France in white. Great speedway here. Doyle's going to win the race, but now Frick down to the line for third. Bellego's held on.
Oh, that's a shock. That's a turn up for the books. Dimitri Berger rode like his life depended on it there. He made the world champion work overtime. And Jason Doyle just about got through to the front, but Bellego did sterling work to hold off the real hard, fast Max Frick out the back. That's a shock. Australia are struggling here.
Oh my goodness me, that has done Great Britain a real favour.
Yeah.
Massive favour for the GB side.
Great race though.
Great speedway race, and the way Max Frick had his nose cut off.
I say, yeah, wasn't very polite, was it?
God, dear
wasn't very polite at all. This was a super race, but Dimitri Berger out of gate 2 makes a world-class start, possibly the best start he's ever made. He hits the front and he charges down the back straight. Jason Doyle, the champion of the world, comes roaring round the outside, and Berger responds in fine style here, squeezes the champion. The champion then goes to the inside, gets the better of him, but it's a great couple of laps from the youngster Berger. Then the battle for third place, the all-important third place. Max Frick, quite clearly very determined to get the better of David Bellego. Bellego then says, right, well, I'm not having that, and chops back to the inside. Great speedway for first and second and third and fourth. Look at Bellego there, just running across in front of Max Frick. Doyle wins the race, but a great effort from the French pair.
Yeah, we're seeing some glimpses of world-class action out there tonight now, and that from one of the lesser nations, France, was good. Doyle the winner,
Yeah.
Berger second, Bellego was third. Great speedway race, and it does mean now that Australia are on 15, but they've ridden the same amount of outings as Great Britain, and France are on 13 and are looking good for a place in the knockout phase in heats 22-23 of tonight's Pairs Speedway of Nations.
Czech Republic are out here, Nigel, and the Australians are going to want the Sweden to do them a favour. If Sweden can beat 5-1 here against the Czech Republic, that'll take a little bit of pressure off Australia. But Milik, I've got to say, has been impressive. He hits the front, he could potentially be a race winner. So really is getting very tasty indeed.
Yep, big race coming up here, heat number 15, then Czech Republic and Sweden head-to-head. Sweden have been magnificent tonight. Lindback and Lindgren. This man in blue is Josef Frank. And yeah, that last race, Dimitri Berger, the Redcar fans are going to be in for a treat watching him.
Yeah, they'll be delighted that he
Yep.
signed for them, because that was a great ride.
So, heat 15 it is. Czech Republic against Sweden, red and blue against white and yellow. Sweden are in the white and yellow helmet colours, and it's a good start from Lindback. Now, Freddie Lindgren has missed the start. This is going to be worth watching. Freddie Lindgren now at the back, slices through! Freddie Lindgren in second place now. Sweden on a 5-1. Milik has just been brushed aside by Freddie Lindgren, the best rider in the world right now. Lindback has the lead. Lindgren is second. Third in red was Vaclav Milik. Just a shame Freddie couldn't have taken another couple of laps to pass. Give us a bit more entertainment.
Absolutely, but he's not listening to us, and he's not here to please us. He's here to please himself. Got to say, he's so fast, Freddie Lindgren. He's got himself to the front. Milik, who looked so good last time, just could not land a blow. Antonio Lindback has been relegated to second place because Lindgren is just charged to the front. This is a good result for Australia, not just for Sweden. Sweden look like they're dominating proceedings. Only one more race for them after this, and it's against Great Britain. But the 5 points here is very good, very useful indeed.
Sweden romp away. They move on to 24 points. The Super Swedes deliver the goods again. Lindgren, who was last out of the start, has won the race. He really is great to watch at the moment, isn't he? Just a 1 point for the Czech Republic as well. And still to come, remember, Great Britain against Australia and Sweden against Great Britain. They will figure later tonight. Great Britain against Australia in heat 17 and Sweden against Great Britain in heat 20. We've just had the 15th race.
Absolutely. Sweden are in dominant mood tonight, and they're working brilliantly as a pair. And the speed of Lindgren is quite a sight to behold. Doesn't make the start from gate 4, but look at the move in the first corner. Milik has got no chance here. Freddie Lindgren, the bike working so well. He's got so much speed. Milik is no easy task. He doesn't give it to him at all. He makes him work for it, but he runs wide in the bottom corner, and Lindgren round the inside, and then he finds himself going so quickly he actually gets the better of his teammate. But they win in style. The 5 points nearly guaranteeing them to be a winner here tonight. Would be a major surprise if they don't go through as winners to the finals in Wroclaw at the end of the week. Freddie Lindgren, well, you're right, Nige. He could arguably the best rider in the world right now.
Well, he's top of the world individual championship standings. He won the last Grand Prix in Prague, and I've never seen him ride better in all the years. I first saw him race over here in the UK in 2004 as a youngster.
Okay, he's the best rider in the world right now.
He is, yeah, get it right.
Okay.
Closely followed by Woofenden.
Yes.
In fact, those two, when you look at the individual championship, Lindgren and Woofenden, who won the league with Wolves here a year ago in October as teammates.
They're not anymore.
I don't think they're big pals these days, but
no.
Yeah,
no,
they're going to be great to watch. The Grand Prix for the rest of the year after this tournament is going to be one heck of a series.
Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be fabulous. Could well be a real ding-dong battle between them two boys.
And don't forget, our British viewers, if you want to get yourself along to Cardiff on Saturday, July the 21st at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, 5 o'clock start time, the British Grand Prix. Don't miss that one. And it is live with us as well. If you aren't going, join us. So it should be an absolute cracker. Heat 16 then here, Italy against Finland. Italy in the red and blue helmet colours with Nico Cavati and Paco Castagna, and Finland, Timo Lahti and Tero Arnio.
Well, this won't trouble the top 3 placings, but still pride on the line for these two nations. And Timo Lahti, who started with a tapes exclusion, will want to keep battling on. He's ridden reasonably well. Tero Arnio actually has had a couple of decent outings and shown some real commitment. But yeah, they're racing for pride now.
Yeah, 16th race of the night. Here we go. Italy in the red and blue. Finland white and yellow. A little bit of a nervous start there, but the man in yellow, Tero Arnio, has made a good start. The Finns are on a 5-1 as things stand. The man in white is Timo Lahti. Now, will we see a bit of team riding from Finland? They're going to have to here, because Nico Cavati will chase hard for Italy, and Cavati charging hard up the inside now, putting pressure on the flying Finn Tero Arnio. Good wheel-to-wheel action down the back straight here in Manchester.
Arnio was a little bit fortunate to get away with that, but he has done so, but he's having to ride hard. Lahti out in front is going good. He's looking quite comfortable on the outside. His partner's having all sorts of pressure from Cavati, but just sense that he's got the measure of him. And this will be a handy result for Finland. The 5 points, very useful. I still don't think it's going to force them into a race-off later on. There's no doubt it's a satisfying result for the Finns out in front. Disappointment for the Italian boys, but Lahti in front, and an impressive ride from him.
Well, he's going to put them on to 11 points. That'll just put a little bit of pressure on France now, with the Finns getting a big 5-1 against Italy. I think we can discount Italy now. They are probably going to fall by the wayside tonight. We've had 16 races here of the Speedway of Nations now here in Manchester tonight, and that is a big result for Finland, which just keeps them interested, just keeps them hanging on to the coattails of France. And we've had 16 heats here. Sweden are dominating on 24 points so far, but Italy 1, Finland 5 in that last heat. But Sweden lead the meeting with 5 qualifying heats to come.
Yeah, good ride from Timo Lahti, and they'll be pleased to have picked up 5 points. And as you rightly say, if they could sneak ahead of France, then who knows, they'll get an extra ride later on in the evening. And but here we see Timo Lahti from the outside, but Tero Arnio, I've got to say that was quite a start from him, and he rides well in second place because he's the one with all the pressure from Nico Cavati on the inside. There we see it again from the tapes, and Nico Cavati in third place does make Arnio work hard, but just can't quite find a way through. Here we see them coming fairly close together here with the leg trailing style of Nico Cavati there back in third place, and Arnio sat in the seat. He's a small guy, and the Finnish team, they're pleased with that, and that's good. So, you know, it's made it worthwhile, and it's great experience for these guys at World Championship level. Good stuff.
It is excellent stuff from Finland on that occasion. 5 big points for them. And the Finnish side, they have had some terrific riders down the years. Sadly, in recent times, Ila Taroma and Ari Koponen passed away. Two
Yeah,
regular performers in the
I
British
rode with
League.
Ari.
Yeah.
Knew him quite well at Wimbledon. I started my career with him, and it's a great shame he's passed away. Kai Niemey was another great Finnish rider, and was in world finals and world long track finals as a really good performer in his day. They've had a lull in talent coming through, but maybe this will inspire new Finnish blood to come through into international speedway.
Very much so. Now, Alan Rossiter is the Great Britain team manager, and he is down in the pits with Kiri.
Well, Alan, we've just been doing some maths there. 18 points for you. Australia close behind, but it looks like the battle's on between you and the Czechs now.
Yeah, no, pretty much so. The Australians, and I think if we can get a 3-all in the next one, I think we'll be comfortable in second.
Okay, well, we've just been having a look as well. You're going to keep Robert in?
Yeah, we're going to keep Robert in this one. We'll see how it goes after this one.
Him and Ty seem comfortable together.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a bit of a shock in that last one, but gate 1 is a bit of a graveyard here. Everybody's struggling to get off it. It's very slick and sort of swaying about, but hopefully we can do some damage in this one.
All right, thanks, Alan.
Thank you.
Well, he's keeping his expectations low. I think the form of Great Britain, I would think that they should be confident to try and get the better of Australia.
Joseph, you and Václav have been having quite a good evening so far.
Yeah, of course, we trying our best and try to finish third place and fight for the last place so we can go through to the next round and trying our best, to set the bike for the final races for tonight.
Enjoying riding in pairs with Václav?
Yeah, of course, he's one of the best Czech riders, so I can actually learn of him and we can work together, no problem. So it's the most hard work tonight is up to him, and I'm just trying to help him,
Just having a look at these points here, it looks like Great Britain are the ones going to be sort of challenging you right now.
Really? Well, that's the good news, we try to push our best and see how we get on.
All right, thanks, Joseph.
Thank you.
Well, they're in this, the Czech Republic. I think that they've ridden very well. So it'll be interesting to see how we go on.
Dimitri Berger, tym razem Francuz, który stoczył pasjonujący bój w wyścigu z Australią. Doyle był przed nim, ale za nim przyjechał Max Frick. Dimitri, that was a very, very good heat with the Australia. Did you expect that it's going to be so close between you and Australia? I mean, your team, an Australian team.
To be honest, not really, because I was struggling with the setup from the beginning of the meeting. But yeah, I make a good start and I had a good speed. Doyle passed me and I can pass him again, but he got better at the end. So yeah, it was a good race, but no win, so a bit disappointed, but maybe it's the next one.
Yeah, sure. Jak widzicie Państwo, Dimitri wcale nie jest taki zadowolony, wcale nie jest taki szczęśliwy. Mówi, że tak naprawdę od początku ma problemy z ustawieniami i do końca nie może się z tym połapać. Rzeczywiście to nie był najgorszy start. Doyle był przed nim, potem Doyle go wyprzedził, potem mógł jeszcze spróbować go pogonić, ale jednak to się nie udało. Może następnym razem się uda. Dimitri, do you still believe that you can achieve your goal, and the goal is to be in top 3?
Yeah, of course. It's not finished, so we need to make good last race and see if we can qualify or maybe for the last hit this year.
Sure thing. Czy jest jeszcze możliwe osiągnięcie celu, czyli bycie w czołowej trójce? Oczywiście, że jest. Musimy po prostu bardzo dobrze pojechać w swoim ostatnim biegu, no i zobaczyć, co się wydarzy i zakwalifikować się może do tego dodatkowego biegu. Dziękuję bardzo. Thank you very much.
Interesting that situation for France, Nigel, because they've got the Czech Republic in their next ride in Heat 18.
Yes.
And they go out in Heat 21 against Italy. So they are not out of it, actually. They have, with the evidence of the last race against Australia, those two boys look like they're beginning to find their feet here tonight. So It wouldn't be a complete surprise to see them actually leapfrog the Finns and get themselves into 5th place.
All good stuff here. Sweden lead on 24 points now then. Nico Cavati of Italy is with Kiri in the pits.
Nicholas, it's been tough out there for you so far.
Yeah, it's hard meeting, but a little unlucky as well. I broke the frame on my first bike and can use the first bike, but we tried using the second bike. It's not perfect, but it's only this, you know. The track is a little slick and you can't make many passes, so need to concentrate in the start and hopefully win the last one.
The last heat was quite good for you though.
Yeah, I think every hit is hard, but we need to try to win the last one.
All right, thanks, Nicholas.
Thanks, mate.
Beautiful sunny evening here in Manchester then. We have 5 qualifying races to go here. With Sweden on 24, they're looking good. They're looking set fair for qualification. Automatically, they only have one more outing to come.
Yeah.
And that is against Great Britain. Now, Great Britain 18, Czech Republic 15. But Great Britain's last outings are now against Australia in Heat 17. And then again against Sweden in Heat 20. Their toughest 2 heats are the last 2.
Absolutely, and so there's work still to be done for Great Britain, and they can ill afford to slip up. So the pressure is on, with Sweden 6 points in front, and they're looking very comfortable indeed. But Great Britain up against 2 strong teams here, and Heat 17 about to get underway. They mustn't slip up now. They can't rest on their laurels. The work is still to be done for Great Britain, and there's no doubt that Australia in 4th place at this stage on 13 points, well, they're going to be highly motivated to try and get amongst it.
Yep, heat number 17 then. Great Britain against Australia. Sweden lead on 24, Great Britain 18. This is a huge race for Australia.
Yeah.
They have to try and get the better of the Brits. Woofenden against Doyle, 2 world champions going head-to-head. Robert Lambert coming in as a replacement for Craig Cook again. Max Frick. Heat 17, a huge race for both Great Britain and Australia, is coming right up. This is a huge race for both Great Britain and Australia. Australia 5 points behind Great Britain right now. The battle is on for the top 2. Sweden are looking set to finish in one of the top 2 positions to automatically go through to the finals on Friday and Saturday. So this is a proper good old-fashioned Ashes battle between Great Britain and Australia in heat number 17 here in Manchester tonight, this National Speedway Stadium. Lambert will be back here next Monday, the 11th of June, remember, the British final here at the National Speedway Stadium. Alan Rossiter, the Great Britain manager who led Swindon Robins to the Premiership title last year as well on the domestic front. Mark Lemon is the Australian manager, but he's also the Bellevue boss. He's based in the UK and is manager, director of Speedway, I should say, of the Bellevue Aces.
Plenty of work going on the start line. Robert Lambert's got the inside gate again. Alan Rossiter admitting that that is not the best starting place, so they've given Ty Woofenden, the form man out of the pair, the best start. He was talking about 3 points as what they were looking for, so that's the philosophy here, that's the tactics. They're going with their top man off the better gate. Anything else on top of a 3-all is a bonus.
Yep, heat number 17 it is down here. England in the Great Britain in the red and blue helmet colour. Australia white and yellow, and Australia made the better start. Although Lambert early on here squeezes them out, and Woofenden nips up the inside. And watch out for Australia, then past Woofenden. Australia on a 5-1. This brings Australia right back into it and puts Britain in a spot of bother. What can Woofenden do about this now? He's charging hard after Frick. Frick knows every inch of this track. Doyle is the lead nation. Woofenden is third. Australia on a 5-1.
Oh, that was a tough first corner. Australia responding brilliantly. Woofenden for the first time is having to work really hard. Robert Lambert just couldn't quite get there off gate number 1. Doyle rounds wide, just about hangs on to it. Woofenden's got some really tough yards to go here. 1 and 2 for Australia. They really haven't been at their best, but they've responded under immense pressure. Doyle out in front. Max Frick going great guns in second place here.
Well, Mark Lemon will feel absolutely jubilant. Max Frick was the one pick he was unsure about, and he's just delivered a fantastic result for Australia. Woofenden can't quite get there on the line. It's Doyle and Frick over Great Britain's Woofenden and Lambert, and that raises concern levels for Great Britain that they may yet have to rely on a knockout race to get through to Poland and the finals of the Speedway of Nations.
Wow, how things can quickly turn around. Australia weren't looking very impressive at all, but that was a hugely important result for Team Australia. They come through in flying colours. Great Britain there really up against it, and as hard as Woofenden tried, he couldn't get amongst the big points. Whoa, that's some result for Australia.
Yep, all the hard work from the start for Australia. That's where they laid the foundations, and Max Frick rode the race of his life to hold off Tai Woofenden.
Did he?
In third place. Woofenden tried everything, and look how tight it is now for that second automatic qualifying spot. And a reminder, Great Britain still have to face Lindgren and Lindback, the in-form Swedes, in their final outing.
They're going to need big points in that one. And we see this again, and the damage is done from the tapes. Got to say, the clash there on the inside with Robert Lambert and Max Frick, it just doesn't quite work out. Woofenden didn't get away cleanly this time. He gets eaten up down the back straight. Again, we're looking at Woofenden, spins up from gate 3, can't get there. Doyle round the outside. Max Frick now momentarily forced to third place, but Woofenden was a sitting duck as he came out of the second corner on the opening lap. Again from the tapes, down into the first corner, a clash on the inside. Tough speedway, it's World Championship speedway here. Australia fighting for their lives, roaring either side of the two-time former world champion. Mark Lemon delighted with that result, giving themselves a real good opportunity of going straight through.
You know, I think that was a major part of Mark Lemon's team selection, that Max Frick knows this track inside out, has done a lot of laps here over the last couple of years, and I think he showed his track knowledge. Now another big race developing here. France looking to put pressure on Finland in the 5th place, and Czech Republic looking to keep their hopes alive.
Not out of it.
Automatic qualification, although it has to be said that this is their last outing in the qualifiers for the Czech Republic, so they need a 5-1 really here to keep slim hopes alive. Otherwise, they'll be going out in a knockout race, and they may even yet face Great Britain.
Absolutely.
Which would be drama in the extreme.
Plenty of permutations still to come. Czech Republic are 5-1, they'll move on to 20 points, and that will give them half a chance of a straight going straight through, but they have ridden well. Got to say, France are not out of it either, but it's more of a task for them. They're back on 9 points, so still a hugely important race here. And Václav Milik, if he can work with Joseph Frank, who knows, they might just pick up 5 points.
Absolutely, and with the Czech Republic side tonight has come Thomas Topinka, well known to Kings Lynn fans, a real legend with Kings Lynn, Thomas.
Yeah, he did a good job. He works at the Marquetta Stadium now, of course, for the Grand Prix, and he's been was a solid performer in his day.
Heat number 18, huge race for both. It's the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations, and Milik has made a meeting. Václav Milik from the start. Now, can Frank come around? And joining me has a 5-1 for the Czech Republic. Will put them a point ahead of Great Britain and 2 ahead of Australia. Czech Republic really having a go now. Václav Milik in white, second place in yellow. Joseph Frank, the vastly experienced rider who knows virtually every track in the UK. Third in red is David Pelego of France, and the Czech Republic are looking good for 20 points from 6 rides.
Super stuff from Milik, looking good out in front. They've responded, they're taking advantage of this race. Milik out in the dirt, the bike pulling his arms off down the back straight on one wheel, but Frank's the key man. He got the better of Pelego in the first corner, has joined his teammate out in front, a lap to go. The Czech Republic giving themselves every chance of going through to the finals. There's work still to be done, but they can only beat the opposition, and this is a huge 5 points for them.
Brilliant stuff from the Czech Republic. Václav Milik, followed home by Pepe Frank. 5-1 for the Czechs. That is a huge result. They go on to 20 points from their 6 rides. Job done from them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sterling work, and you've got to say that they have taken advantage of the right races. You know, France is not an easy team. They did very well against Australia, but the Czech Republic charge up into second place on the completion of 6 races.
France still have a chance because they've got Italy in their last race. They've got one more outing to come. Look at this now. Great Britain and Australia, the top 2, we remind you, go automatically through to the finals over 2 nights in Poland this weekend. Sweden looking good. Czech Republic still in with a chance. Great Britain have got to face Sweden in their final outing. If they don't get into the top 2, it's all about 2 steps of knockout racing.
Yeah,
that's when it gets really tense.
Absolutely, and they've got to race Sweden. Czech Republic, they're in second place, but they're vulnerable because they can do no more. I've got the feeling we will see them again. Absolutely, certainly we'll see them again in a knockout heat, I sense. But this is a great effort from Joseph Frank to get the better of Balago in the first corner. Milik's away, he's gone, but it's a great job from Frank to join his teammate to pick up maximum points. Again, Milik showing great resolve away from the tapes. Joseph Frank choosing to come to the inside, and it's the right choice because he gets the better of Balago, and Berger, who was a hero against Jason Doyle in Australia previously, fails to score. But for Milik and the Czech Republic, well, I've got to say they've ridden really nicely tonight.
Well, this will be Australia's last outing, and this means that they're on 18 points if they get a 5-1 against Finland here, which won't be easy against Lahti and Arnio. But if they can nick a 5-1 here, like they did against Great Britain, 23 points from 6 outings, it will be Australia, probably Australia and Sweden straight through.
Wow, well, that wasn't looking likely earlier on.
A dramatic switch from that 5-1 for Australia against Great Britain. That's what's done it.
Yeah.
Lahti and Arnio, Doyle and Frick, Finland against Australia. Finland in the red and blue helmet colours and Australia in the white and yellow. A reminder, the finals Friday and Saturday, Warsaw, Wrocław. Get it right, not Warsaw, Wrocław.
We've done that
We've
one.
been there already, yeah. Wrocław in Poland, Friday and Saturday night. What better way to spend your weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be it'll be a festival of speedway. It's a wonderful town actually, and the stadium is superb.
Are you still a celebrity there from your riding days?
One or
Got
two
the autograph
people
sessions planned?
Absolutely, no doubt. Book signings, it's all on. But no, it's I had two or three super seasons there, but Australia have done remarkably well to bounce back from some indifferent form earlier on.
And this 5-1 has changed their
it has against Great Britain, and another 5-1 here. Well, who knows?
Heat number 19, big one for Australia in the white and yellow helmet colours. Can they deliver the goods here? Oh, what a start from
red
the man
light.
in blue, and the red lights are on straight away. It's our third unsatisfactory start of the night.
Well, I don't blame him. Give him, just have a go. He certainly did, but he'll be warned.
We have the 2 minutes on
Phil
straight
Morris,
away,
our director, race director. Here we see it again.
Yeah, he's just clearly seeing, just dropping the clutch a bit early. But Arnio's certainly been up for it tonight, and so is Timo Lahti. When Lahti hits the front, he's a very tidy rider.
Yep, warning from Phil Morris then. The 2-minute time allowance is on. No hanging around here. They'll be back on up to tapes and ready for action. We have 3 qualifying races remaining and then 2 knockout heats. Sweden already there with 1 race in hand. Sweden in the final already, 24 points from 5 rides, and they still have to race Great Britain in Heat 20. Woofenden against Lindgren.
Well,
small matter of that.
Yes, that's a nice little side story, isn't it? But this is a very important race for Australia. They can ill afford to slip up here. Doyle, who, what a race that was with him and Berger, but Freddie Lindgren got the better of him. But I just sense that Jason is beginning to really relax a bit now and is easing his way into the season. But this is a big race for the Aussie boys. They can't be complacent here. They need to take full advantage of an easier race on paper.
Yep, they're up at tapes again for the second time, so both Finnish riders now on a warning. Lahti and Arnio up against Doyle and Frick, the Australians here. Big race heat number 19. And Australia will remind you, if they get a 5-1 here, will move on to 23 points. And that would mean that Great Britain would need a 5-1 against Sweden to overhaul them and book their place in the final. And we are hearing breaking news that Robert Lambert will again replace Craig Cook in heat number 20.
I'm not surprised about that. That'll be tough on Cook to put him in against the Swedes, having only done one outing very much earlier on. So I understand that decision. I think it's quite possibly the right decision. Riders now keen to get on with it. It's been quite a long time to get back up at tapes, but Australia need the 5-1 here, and that will turn their fortunes around, well, massively. Coming from nowhere, Australia tonight.
Yep, heat number 19 it is then. Here we go again. Take tries. And it's a great start from the Finnish boys here. This is a turn up for the book now. The man in blue has the lead. That's Tero Arnio. And now they're all going to bunch up down that back straight. Arnio has the lead. Watch out for Lahti as well. Max Frick is in yellow. Doyle's come through now. And now the Finns return the compliment, and Finland are on a 4-2. Can you believe this? A real turn up. Doyle down the back straight. Here we go into turn 3 and 4. Drama here.
Lahti up the inside now. Lahti back into second place. What a move from Timo Lahti. Around the outside, Jason Doyle. Tero Arnio's away. Brilliant stuff from him. Now Max Frick's having to work hard. Australia on the 3-all. Can they get Tero Arnio? There's a lap to go. Can he hang on? Out in front. Brilliant speedway.
This is doing Great Britain a huge favour. Finland, can you believe it? With the man in blue, Tero Arnio, leading the Australians home. Down to the line, it's a 3-all.
Wow.
Wow, a shock result in heat number 19. Australia finish on 21 points, and that means a 3-all for Great Britain against Sweden would put them into the final on Friday and Saturday.
Wow, you just couldn't see that coming. You could not have scripted that. Tero Arnio, that's the race of his life. He's never ridden so fast in his life. I thought he'd thrown it away coming out of the last corner, but look, he's absolutely delighted. He's tried all throughout the night, and that's what the Speedway of Nations is all about. Giving opportunities to lesser known riders, the opportunity to ride on the biggest stage. Great stuff from Arnio.
Well, you can't predict this, can you?
It's unbelievable.
And Lahti was in there as well. And it was terrific speedway. And there's the progressive scores now. 24 to Sweden, 21 to Australia. Czech Republic have finished on 20. Right, so just above them. Right, we have a situation here where Great Britain are on 19 points with one race to go. The top two make it straight through to the final. A 3-all for Great Britain in Heat 20 against Swindon will book their place in the final without any need for a knockout race.
This is a race. It's a super race. Arnio there made a great start initially. He's out in front. Look at the battling going on for second and third. Timo Lahti making Jason Doyle work so hard. Lahti up the inside, squeezing back to get the better of the champion momentarily. But it's the man out in front. Here's the battle. It really was quite entertaining, with Timo Lahti back up the inside, getting the better of both of the Australians. 3 abreast as they completed the first lap. Doyle around the outside, but for Tero Arnio, that is some ride from him, and he is clearly delighted, and rightly so. What a speedway race.
Brilliant from the Finns, and we have to emphasise that's a huge result for them as well, because they're going to feature in the knockout races, you would think, barring a 5-1 for France in their last outing. It's France against Italy, which could happen, but Finland in with a great chance of appearing in the knockout stages. Now, Great Britain, the pressure is on, and there is no Craig Cook here. It is Robert Lambert replacing Craig Cook. So it's Freddie Lindgren and Antonio Lindback with Ty Woofenden and Robert Lambert in heat number 20. Lambert in the yellow helmet colour here, and a 3-all. So if Great Britain win the race or get second and third, then they would qualify for the final in Wroclaw, because that would put them on to 22 points and pip Australia by a point.
Pressure on. Here we go. Fabulous way to finish, certainly of that. Here we go.
Lindgren in red, Woofenden in white. They're the top 2 riders in the world, and Lambert's made the start. Lambert has made the start here, and now Woofenden's going wide. Here comes Woofenden! Great Britain are on a 5-1. Can you believe it here? Woffenden in white, Lambert in yellow. Lingland comes through into third. Sweden have already qualified, remember, but this would put Great Britain through on 24 points, straight through to Wroclaw, but don't write off Lindgren just yet.
Lindgren coming on strong in third place. Great Britain runs fabulously well coming out of the first corner. Robert Lambert's gone very wide, and now Freddie Lingland's up into second place. Lambert now dive bombs him coming into turn 3. Lambert forcing him wide, wider still. Lambert and Lindgren now back up the inside. Oh, that's that's ruthless speedway there. Can Lambert respond? Brilliant stuff between the two riders.
This still does it for Great Britain. Robert Lambert's the hero with Ty Woffenden. Woffenden leads away. Woffenden, Lindgren and Lambert. It's a 4-2 to Great Britain. That puts them on 23 points from 6 rides. That means they are second in the meeting behind Sweden. More Great Speedway. Top 2 automatically through to Wroclaw on Friday and Saturday. And Woffenden takes the applause of the fans. He's going to be joined by Lambert as well. A standing ovation on the home straight. That is patriotism. That is pride. That's Great Britain Speedway.
Fabulous stuff from the two boys from Great Britain there. Slipped up in the previous heat, but they responded brilliantly against the unbeaten Swedes. Fantastic ride from Ty Woffenden. Got to say, a great effort from Robert Lambert to make sure he picked up the 4-2. Great way to respond. Sweden and Great Britain through to the Speedway of Nations finals at the end of the week.
Sweden and Great Britain automatic qualifiers. What a knockout phase we're going to have with Australia, Czech Republic. Will it be Finland or will it be France? And Ty Woffenden on his comeback meeting for Great Britain leads his side into the pairs Speedway of Nations final.
Brilliant stuff from Woffenden. He has been their talisman. He's done great job when it's really needed. Lindgren doesn't get away out of gate number 1, but Robert Lambert does. He does great work on that first corner. Here comes Woffenden down the outside. Plenty, just about enough room for him to squeeze around the outside of the opposition.
What a start from
Robert Lambert. That's a world-class start from Lambert. Really, when the pressure was on, that's great confidence booster for him. Woffenden then hits the front. Freddie Lindgren has to work really very hard indeed to get the better of the youngster. Look how tight that was with Lindgren coming through to snatch second place away from Lambert. But 2 points. Alan Rossiter quite clearly delighted, and no stress now for them. They can relax. They're through to Friday and Saturday later this week.
He's a controversial figure at times, Ty Woffenden, but we'll say what you like. That is what you get when you have your best rider, bar none, from your country available for selection.
I said it earlier on, it's been very disappointing not to have him part of the setup in the last couple of years. So for Ty to be back, it's great news, and whoever convinced him to come back, well, he needs a pat on the back.
So here we go. Heat number 21 is coming up. And well, really here's some fantastic stuff that we've seen here tonight. Heat number 21 it is. Italy against France, and France need a 5-1 to pin Finland to the post. Here we go, it's a good start from the man in white, David Bellego. Now can his partner join him here? We're seeing some super speedway as France pile under pressure, but coming through superbly is Nico Cavati. And now a 4-2 would take it to count back for France if they could just get there. Italy are already out of the running here now for a place in the knockout stages. But the man in white, David Bellego, has done great work here for France. And now coming through in yellow, Dimitri Berger. He needs to try and round them up and get a 5-1. Don't rule it out just yet. Here he comes, Dimitri Berger. He's piling on the pressure. We've got a race on here, Kel.
Bellego out in front, riding well. Got to say Nico Cavati working hard as well, but Berger round the outside. Here he comes. Charges there. They're into the last lap. It's an awful long way for him. Now, can he now switch back to the inside, square the corner off? He's chasing hard. 1 corner to go.
Here he goes. Down to the line we go. He's deciding to chop back up the inside. It's the wrong call. He's deciding to take the wrong move. The man in yellow, Dimitri Berger, they get a 4-2, but it still goes down to count back now because they finished level with Finland on 14 points apiece. Finland, after that tremendous ride from Tiro Arnio, the Newcastle rider, of course, of the Diamonds in the championship. We await the final confirmation from the FIM jury to establish the final qualifying spot. It goes to count back. Finland and France level on 6 apiece. It's a 4-2 to France. David Bellego the winner. We know that Sweden and Great Britain are straight through to the Speedway of Nations final, and then we are now down to 2 knockout races. Don't miss it.
Well, it's been dramatic stuff. Great Britain doing the business in the previous race. Got to say that really was quite a terrific job by them to get the better of Sweden. We're seeing Heat 21, the conclusion of the qualifying races. David Bellego hits the front, but got to say, as hard as Dimitri Berger rides here, he just can't quite get himself to the front. Here we're seeing it again, down the back straight. And Nico Cavati comes charging around the outside. We'll be interested to see if France go through on countback. It will be very tight with Finland. They've both battled very hard. But there's no doubt that Bellego has ridden nicely in his Heat 21, but he still may have at least another race to come. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so great stuff here. 21 heats completed. These are the individual score charts. Vaclav Milik superb for the Czech Republic. Well, there we are. We'll have the knockout heats very shortly indeed, and France have just about got the nod over Finland, and that is harsh on Finland after their hard work earlier against Australia.
Arnio race, you've got to believe that they deserve to go through into 5th, but it's not to be. The Czech Republic and France going head-to-head in Heat 22. And Australia will be waiting for them in Heat 23. The Czech Republic will have choice of gates against France, and the Czech Republic will be favourites for Heat 22. Could be quite a battle between the Czech Republic and Australia in Heat 23, of course, for the last final place in Wroclaw, so we will wait patiently for that. So still, there's a couple of very important races to come. It's been a good night, really has. It's
tremendous night.
It really has been. It's built up beautifully, and we've seen some unexpected results. We've seen some superb individual performances, and I think that tonight you've got to believe that this track and the competition really has come alive. And there's been plenty of drama. Sweden and Great Britain through to the finals. We're still got 2 races more to see who will join Sweden and Great Britain in Wroclaw for the Speedway of Nation finals on Friday and Saturday of this week.
Well, a dramatic night here in Manchester. 2 heats to go to decide the final nation to ride in the Speedway of Nations final in Wroclaw. Sweden have won the meeting. We congratulate them on that. Russia, Germany, Denmark, Poland, Sweden, Great Britain, 6 of the 7 are known, and we can hear from the Swedish team manager Morgan Anderson now with Kiri.
Well, there's handshakes down here from Morgan to Alan. Morgan straight through to Poland. What a fine night.
Yeah, that's great, you know. We was already through before the last heat, and that was more than I could expect before the meeting, but the boys did a tremendous job.
Well, Freddie and Antonio rode an absolute storm tonight. It must have been a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, they came from behind when they need to do it, but the gating good and keep together in the heats. We decide a little bit with the gate position. The track was pretty deep on the outside, and Freddie is one of the best in the world to handle that stuff, so we need to take care of the outside gates to start up with you.
On to Poland, joining Russia and Germany and Great Britain. The lineup's swarming up. It's going to be a strong couple of days.
Yeah, but that's why we're here. That's to traveling down to Poland. So yeah, we expect that before we get into this event, and it's 2 hard days to go, and hopefully we can get up highest on the Saturday night.
Congratulations, Morgan. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's been a very good night and successful night for Sweden. Got to believe that they've come here and they've done the business and they've won on the night.
Let's hear from Ty Woffinen now. A triumphant return for Great Britain tonight. He's with Kiri.
Well, Ty, on the way to Poland, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a good night. It's good to be back racing for GB and, you know, coming here and racing at this track. Wasn't quite happy with how the track was prepared early on. A lot of water, pretty hot today and a bit icy and a bit slippery, but as the night went on, they reduced the water, the track got really nice to ride, and I think everyone enjoyed the night.
Well, obviously kept Robert in for the time. You guys enjoyed riding together. Right decision?
Yeah, for sure. At the start of the night, Roscoe said, one race for you, one race for you, and then whoever does the business goes to the next one. So, you know, Rob's riding really well at the moment, all over Sweden, Poland, UK is on it. So, you know, hope he gets a ride on Friday, Saturday.
Well, joining Russia, Germany and Sweden, the lineup looks strong for the next few days.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be good fun. I'm looking forward to getting out there with the boys. Obviously, I've been in Roswell for so long, so I said, right, we need to eat in this restaurant. There's a nice vegan place for breakfast there, and so I've got all the boys dialed in. We've got a nice little schedule, and just enjoying being back.
Priorities with the food. Track also you know very well out there.
Yeah, the track's good. Like I said, I've raced there for years. Actually struggled a little bit the last 2 years, but anyway, things are going good. As far as GB's concerned, everything's going in the right direction. I'm so happy that things are going that way, and you know, I'm not racing just this year. I'll 100% be here for the next 5 years. So while Rob's got the 5-year plan, I'll be here for the 5 years. So I'm looking forward to the future.
Great, thanks, Ty.
Thank you.
Oh, good stuff.
Encouraging.
Yeah, very encouraging to hear that Ty will be around for the next 5 years for Great Britain. And the evidence of his performance tonight, he is very much integral to our success. So,
well,
he's ridden very well indeed.
22 is 4th v 5th, which is Czech Republic and France. And we await the picks. So we'll bring that to you just as soon as we can.
Been a good night of Speedway. It really burst into life at the midway point, and one or two unexpected results and teams coming under pressure, and they've responded really well. Been really good racing.
Let's go down to Kerry now in the pits for the all-important draw.
Well, it is a time for that all-important draw. So standing alongside me, Czech Republic, and we have also got the French. So Milan, you go first with your choices. Which gates would you like to choose?
Our boys want outside, 2nd and 4th.
Okay, interesting choices. And Laurent, obviously that leaves you with gates.
Yeah, the red and blue.
Okay, thank you guys. That is our draw, our first draw done and dusted.
Well, no surprise that Czech Republic had the first pick, and they've gone for gates 2 and 4. It'll be interesting to see which way round they work, but quite clearly they're avoiding the inside gate, which has proved to be troublesome at times. So the Czech Republic, you know, they could be quite dangerous in these knockout races at the end of the night.
Good to see Dan Bewley in the crowd there. He was in contention, I know, for selection for this tournament from Alan Rossiter.
Very close he was.
He'll be here next Monday for the British final. So Vaclav Milik going in white here for the Czech Republic. With Frank
looks like he'll be going off
yellow.
gate. I reckon he'll go off gate 2, you know. But we'll see. Riders just now preparing themselves. And Dimitri Berger and David Bellego have ridden well.
The winners of this, of course, will go on to meet Australia in the last chance knockout.
Yeah, absolutely. Australia are favourites to join Sweden and Great Britain in the finals at the end of the week, but the Czech Republic, I just sense the Czech Republic could be spoilers here, because they've got two riders that are beginning to really get an understanding, and Milik is the sort of rider that can beat anybody now. He is in that sort of form. And Joseph Frank, who has a journeyman rider, but a wholehearted rider, got to say that, you know, if he gets away well, he's got speed. He certainly demonstrated that last time when they got that big 5-1 to finish on 20 points, and that's given them this opportunity. So, yeah, they could be busy here. They could go two consecutive races.
So we await France as they come out here with Bellego and Berge, and there really has been some good racing tonight, and whoever wins this knockout race, and a reminder, if you finish 2nd and 3rd, then that constitutes a race victory, because effectively it's 2 for second, 1 and a bonus for third, whereas the other nation will have just picked up the 3 points for the win. So team riding is of the essence.
Good point, that, Nigel. At this stage, it's extremely important that, and a 3-all does beat a win. So you just see Berger there in the red helmet colour. Bellego will be in blue, so...
Well, we'll get out there eventually. The riders making their preparations for this knockout phase, 4th v 5th.
Okay, let's go, guys.
Czech Republic and France. High drama here. Václav Milik in white and Pepe Frank in yellow.
I suppose France were a little bit late coming out because they did ride in Heat 21. It's not easy. They could be another team that actually do 3 races on the spin here.
Yes, if they win this,
if they win this and get a 3-all, and they are potentially they could do it. We've seen it from them at the end. Czech Republic are favourites here. They had the choice of gates. They've gone with 2 and 4, but a 3-all with France coming in 2nd and 3rd, they will then go through, so they could be very busy at the end of the night.
Sweden win the meeting on 26, Great Britain on 23. Australia are into the final knockout phase to meet the winners of this, Czech Republic or France. Inside, Dimitri Berge for the French here. Gate number 2 in white, Václav Milik for the Czech Republic. Gate 3 blue is David Bellego for France, and going off the outside is Joseph Frank in yellow. Heat number 22, Knockout Speedway.
Absolutely, and France coming out for their 2nd consecutive race. They were in Heat 21. They go again here. Finland a little unfortunate to miss out, but on countback France got the nod, so they have got the extra race. And of course, if they could get a 3-all here, we will see them in Heat 23 as well. Milik just doing some extra gardening on gate 2. He's been impressive at times tonight, and I just sense that the Czech Republic may just have too much for France here. Milan Spinker, their ex-ice racing rider, as team manager in the pits, he consulted the riders and they were happy to go from gates 2 and 4. Joseph Frank now moving away from the tapes. We are having to be quite patient for Heat 22. But we won't be too much longer, and we will be on with the action. Important race here, of course, that's pretty much evident here. Knockout Speedway now in heat number 22. Will it be the Czech Republic, or will France just sneak through again?
Yep. So, Knockout Speedway here at the National Speedway Stadium. It's a start from Berge, who's really gone on one wheel, and that has cost him. But the lead here early on now is with Václav Milik, and coming through into 2nd in blue is Bellego. Berge is 3rd. This would put France through if it stayed like this. Pepe Frank is at the back, but a reminder, 2nd and 3rd would put you through, because Czech Republic would get 3 points, France would get 2 for 2nd, and 1 plus a bonus for 3rd. That would put them through. This will do France nicely, and it could be a France-Australia runoff to decide the final place in the final.
Absolutely. Joseph Frank now going to the inside. He is desperate to try and get the better of. Berger's packed up. Can you believe it? France are just going to miss out. The Czech Republic have a stroke of luck there. No question about it. Milik in front. Bellego chasing him hard. Oh, that's a bitter disappointment for Dimitri Berger with the bike packing up. But the Czech Republic, they will go through to meet Australia in the very next race.
Well, that's such heartbreak for Dimitri Berge and France. They go out with that engine failure. And Czech Republic are the team that go through to the knockout. It has to be said that Frank was doing a lot of work there to get through anyway, and it is Australia against Czech Republic in a straight shootout over 4 laps now to decide the final contestants for the FIM Speedway of Nations final. We know it's Russia, we know it's Germany, we know it's Denmark, Poland, Sweden and Great Britain, and one nation to be decided in one last race, heat 22, 23 even, here in the National Speedway Stadium, which is coming up next.
Well, the bike just gave up there for Berger. It's a shame, but they were actually in a commanding position there to go through to heat 23 and actually have 3 on the spin again, but it's not to be. And Berger is consoled by the management crew as he comes back into the pits. But the Czech Republic pick up, well, they had a stroke of luck there. The 4 points to them will see them race against Australia in the very next race. Australia, though, will have the choice of gates because they finished in third place on the night.
So here we are with Sweden 26, Great Britain 23. They're automatically through. Australia against the Czech Republic now will do battle over 4 laps to decide who joins them in the final.
Well, good racing from Václav Milik tonight. He's done good job and he's got more work to do. Got to say, Berger there just lifted violently off the start off the inside. David Bellego coming out of gate 3. And at this early stage of the race, they were actually holding places second and third, and that would have sent them through to heat 23, but it's not to be. With Berger packing up there, that's a bitter blow for him and France. Their evening is done, their work is done, and that allows the Czech Republic to pick up the extra point. And you can see how disappointed they are. They were so very close. And France, a small speedway nation, that really is a bitter blow. They have ridden and they've done themselves great credit tonight, you've got to say, with Berger and Bellego riding strongly. But for that man, Milik, who has been a race winner for the Czech Republic pretty much throughout the evening, and Joseph Frank, it will be interesting to see how they get on against Australia in the very next race. But Australia with the pick of gates, it will be interesting to see which way they go.
Right, let's head down to Kiri for the final.
We are indeed looking for the final knockout draw. To my right is the Australian team manager, Mark Lemon. To my left is Milan Spinka for the Czech Republic. Okay, well, this time Australia get their first choice. I just saw you talking to the boys, to Jason and Max. What are your choices?
You consider, obviously, the pairs, and we want to get maximum points and the combination to get through to the final. We're going for gates 2, so it'll be Doyle in white and Frickoff yellow.
Great, thank you. And a little stroke of luck there, Milan, that helped you get all the way here?
You want outside? 2-4. Okay. 1-3.
Not exactly what you wanted, but
no different chance.
okay. There we are. We have our choices. That is our draw. Mark off, Milan Spinka off.
Well, we've got the Czech Republic going off gates 1 and 3 here, with Australia going off 2 and 4, Nigel. And quite clearly, Australia happy to go from the outside 2 gates. Gate 1 at the moment is not looking too good. And advantage Australia. I sense that they will get through, but any mechanical issue like we saw in the previous race with Berger,
it's precarious.
It is very precarious. The Czech Republic potentially could sneak through. Hard work for these boys at the end of the night. This will be the 8th outing for these two.
Yes.
Hard on man and machine. This track is big, fast. Bikes having to work awfully hard. There's no question about that. But Joseph Frank, who is not a youngster in racing terms, just taking a little bit of extra time to get himself ready. And the bike, the clutches get hot, the chains get hot, and they're just furiously going. Fresh air filter on, get all the dirt off the front wheel. The young rider there, Jankovic, don't know too much about him, but he's
under 21.
He's under 21 and he's getting his hands dirty, so he's not work shy. I like that.
Okay, well, we thought Phil Morris was about to call the riders forward, but we await...
Interestingly to see the former world champion Chris Holder in the pits tonight. He has had some passport and visa issues, which has denied any opportunity for him. Mark Lemon, of course...
He looks tense, doesn't he,
Well,
Mark?
rightly so. His boys are having to go right down to the nitty-gritty here, and it will be desperately disappointing if Australia don't make the Speedway of Nations finals at the weekend, because they have a very attractive pair. Czech Republic just gently getting themselves ready, giving themselves as much time as possible to refocus and try and sneak into the Speedway Nations here, Speedway of Nations final on the weekend. And that would be quite a shock if Australia were to be knocked out by the Czech Republic here in Heat 23.
Yeah, it'd be a marvellous achievement for the Czech Republic, but they've got the world individual champion Jason Doyle and the Bellevue rider Max Frick on home shale to contend with, and a reminder, all you need is second and third.
Yes, absolutely, and second and third, it beats a win. Terrio Arnio beat the world champion earlier on, didn't he, in that fabulous race for Finland? But here we go, riders now out on track. And this is crunch time for Australia, having to do it the hard way, coming through the knockout heats at the end of the night. Mark Lemon tense times for all concerned for Australia. And heat number 23 not too far away.
Heat 23 it is then. Vaclav Milik and Joseph Frank up against Jason Doyle and Max Frick of Australia. Czech Republic face Australia. This is a straight shootout, 4 laps of speedway for a place in the Speedway of Nations final. No pressure, boys.
None at all. It's a breeze, just a walk in the park. Yeah, this is what it's all about at Championship Speedway. And this was really what sorts the men from the boys, really. And you've got to say that Doyle will know all about this sort of pressure. He's been there and got the T-shirt. And Vaclav Milik out of gate 3, if he could do something special from there, who knows, it could be quite a turn up for the books. But you've got to believe that the Aussie boys will have just a little bit too much for the Czech Republic. But this is quite a way to finish the night.
Certainly is. It's been a terrific night of racing here in Manchester tonight. A reminder, we'll be back with coverage of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations final on Friday and Saturday. We'll be there in Wroclaw. There's more big-time speedway in Manchester next Monday with the British final here. As Craig Cook defends his crown, Robert Lambert will fancy that, won't he? Next Monday night. That's all to come. Great speedway ahead in the next week. Well, really looking forward to it. There's speedway action throughout the UK as well, at Championship and National League level, if you fancy taking in some live action throughout the UK over the next few days as well. This is the final race of the night. It is Australia. It is the Czech Republic. Australia in the white and yellow helmet colour, Czech Republic in red and blue, and it's all down to this last race to decide our final nation to qualify for the final in Poland this weekend. Here we go. Milik has made a good start, and so has Max Frick. Now Doyle is under pressure. Doyle has got to do something here. Doyle has got out wide, and it's a 4-2 to Australia. Milik now is going high to the turret. Now Milik really working hard. It's a 3-all, and this will do Australia. Milik could well be facing the prospect of winning this runoff, but going out of the tournament, because Australia are doing some team riding here to snuff out the challenge of Frank.
What a move from Milik down the back straight. Brave move from him. The Australians know that they only need to beat the third, and that will see them through to the finals. Joseph Frank, can he have a moment where he can get it through? He's got dropped there, and it's looking likely that Australia, barring mechanical problems, are going to go through to the final. Milik into the last lap. Can Frank do something special to get the better of the opposition? I just don't think so.
Yep, Doyle in third place will have one last look over his shoulder. He's protecting Frick. Australia are going to go through. It's a 3-all, but because Australia, teamwork in second and third, worked hard together there. Effectively the extra bonus point that one of their riders gets for finishing third in Jason Doyle. That means that Australia are our final nation to qualify for the final of the Speedway of Nations.
Yeah, well, there's relief in the Australian camp, no doubt about that. The reaction from Mark Lemon said it all. Really was on tender hooks before Heat 23 there. What a move it was from Milik down the back straight. Got a feel for the Czech Republic. They have worked so very hard to get this far. Milik has done a great job and fully deserves the round of applause he's getting on the slow down lap after winning Heat 23. But the Australians are through, and it is some lineup for the Speedway of Nation finals in Wroclaw on Friday and Saturday. It's going to be a spectacular event, I'm sure.
Great stuff then from Australia. They go through on a dramatic night of speedway here in Manchester. Czech Republic 3, Australia 3, and that means that tonight's success stories are Sweden, Great Britain and Australia. It's congratulations to those three nations who go through to the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations finals on Friday and Saturday night.
Got to say that Vaclav Milik is entertaining us royally by actually doing a wheelie throughout the whole lap. He's enjoyed himself here at the National Speedway Stadium. And the Czech Republic have ridden brilliantly. Great effort from Great Britain, of course. And Ty Woofenden has been their talisman, has clearly enjoyed his return to World Championship Speedway representing his country. Again, we see it. Max Frick makes a great start from gate 2. Milik, watch this move down the back straight. He comes charging off the fence and just literally roars around the outside of Max Frick, and they can do nothing about that. Joseph Frank at the back, as hard as he tried, he just couldn't land a blow. And here we're seeing it. Frank on the inside, and the world champion just gets the better of Frank. But Milik, what a move that was early in the race. It's quite hard on him that he doesn't go through a move like that. You would think that would warrant going through to the final, but it's Australia. They're in, and they've had a few scares along the way, and there's a sense of relief also in the camp of Australia, but they all start level pegging on Friday night.
So Jason Doyle of Australia is with Kiri.
Well, Jason, some ups and downs and right down to the wire, but you're through on the way to Poland.
Oh, incredible. It's not the way we really wanted to do it, to go into that race off one, but fair play to the Swedes and the Brits. They've done a very good job tonight. They outrode us every race. Yeah, we've made it into the final. That's the main job. We didn't want to fail 2 years in a row, the Aussies, and have pie on our faces. So it's nice to finally make a final.
Well, joining Russia, Germany, Sweden, Great Britain, and of course Poland, it's going to be a tough couple of days.
Yeah, now it's all clean slate. We need to go there and refocus again. Today's nice and hot in Manchester. The first time that the sun's come out since I've been here. There's many a times I've been here and it's rained off, so it's nice. Track was perfect. Fair play to the English team and to the Manchester club.
All right, thanks, Jason. Well done.
Thank you.
In the end, yeah, it was a good job, but they had to do it the hard way, and I do believe there's relief in that camp, but as he said, everybody starts level again on Friday night.
Yep, well, terrific night of Speedway. Finland think about what may have been. They were so unlucky, but they've done themselves proud tonight. The successful 3 qualifiers will go out on parade very shortly. And Sweden are the winners tonight, so
yeah, brilliant
terrific
stuff.
work from them.
Yeah, great job they did. They really had it all sealed up before their last ride, but what a race it was against Great Britain. Really was quite a grandstand heat in heat number 20, but Team Sweden, you know, you've got to respect them when you go to the final. They know what it's all about. They put the Poles under pressure last year in Leszno, and we're just waiting for the teams to come out now. Great Britain Speedway team coming out in second place on the night. Great job to go straight through.
Good stuff, and looking forward to Wrocław. It's been a great night here in Manchester. Your closing thoughts, Kelv?
Well, it was a terrific night. There were some topsy-turvy moments, and there were some surprising performances, but that's what the Speedway of Nations is all about. Sweden have ridden superbly. I think the National Speedway Stadium once again has had a massive thumbs up. It's been fabulous racing. Can't wait for the weekend.
Absolutely. Kelvin Tatum with us once again in Wrocław this weekend. Former England World Cup winner. Enjoyed your company tonight, Kel. Thanks very much indeed. And we'll see you in Wrocław, Poland, Friday night and Saturday night. The Speedway of Nations over 2 nights. Good night. Race off 2 of the Monster Energy FIM Speedway of Nations headed to the UK and Manchester, the home of the world famous Bellevue Aces Speedway team. The National Speedway Stadium, widely regarded as boasting one of the best tracks in the world scene. And my goodness, there was some terrific racing. It was fast and furious, as you would expect. The Swedes were the pace setters. Freddie Lindgren continuing his scorching form, and Great Britain with Ty Woofenden back in their side. Woofenden making a successful comeback to his country's representation, and Robert Lambert, the talented youngster, riding alongside him, coming in for Craig Cook on several occasions. One stage it looked as though Great Britain were going to be up against it to qualify automatically when Australia got the better of them, and there was high drama throughout, particularly later on in the meeting as Australia battled hard with Great Britain. The key factor for Great Britain though came in heat 20 when they got a 4-2 with Lambert and Woofenden over Freddie Lindgren. That was a race that did for Great Britain to put them through to the final in Poland in a few days' time. some real hard charging speedway. Australia had to go to the knockout stages. One or two surprise results along the way, and Finland were really unlucky not to make the knockout heats. They were just pipped by the countback system from the French, who managed to just get through. This race was the one that secured it for Great Britain, really working hard with Sweden, and that was the one that got them through. In the knockout stages, Australia working hard. Finland couldn't quite get there. Great Britain battling with Lindgren, and Woofenden with a fantastic race and a huge sigh of relief for Alan Rossiter. Down to the knockout stages they went, and it was Czech Republic who got the better of France with Berge and Bellego. And in the final, Australia packed the minor placings, and they join Sweden and Great Britain in the final this coming weekend.